Sorry guys, a little late getting started there. Had to take care of something real quick, but we're going to be getting started shortly. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you all. Tam and 10, Wolf of Sigmar on the list. Going to be jumping in later. Master Liberaster. Okay. Lord Inquisitor. Good to see you guys. Captain Melons. Just getting things all coordinated here, getting all the competitors lined up and everything. Hope y'all are doing well. Good to see everyone. Yeah. There is a link in the description, indeed. Right now, I have... like, we can look at the list over here. I think there's about 10, yeah. So I think that's probably going to be it for me. I think the list is probably full at this point, but you never know. People may drop, so I guess I could put together a reserve. Okay, so yeah, just waiting on some competitors here. I'll go ahead and get this switched over so you guys can see. I'm just waiting in the lobby. This music turned down just a little bit, so it's not too loud. Some nice balanced background music. So yes, yes. Alright. Yeah, doing well. Tam and 10 was up super late last night. I guess for you it would have been probably early morning this morning, playing the new Call of Duty Season 4 of Call of Duty Warzone. May surprise some people, surprise myself even, that I ended up getting the game. But yeah, it's actually been pretty fun. I've got some IRL friends that I play with because it's cross-platform. You know, I can play with the console kiddies, although I did basically convince my one friend to get a PC. All right. So, yep. Just getting things coordinated. Yeah. Totally understandable, Tam10. I'm going to be streaming that more often. The issue is probably the timing. I don't know. I want to figure out a time that I can stream that's maybe different because, yeah, it's just tough to catch you Europeans. Maybe we can start, if I can convince my friends. Problem is, you know, work and everything. I also have work, but my schedule's pretty flexible. I can kind of dictate my own hours to a degree. So, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going Beastman. We'll see. We'll see. I'm going to give my opponent the benefit of the pick and ban. Ice Power Total War just hopping in right now. I don't know who I'm going to play. I'm thinking about it. Could do a few different things. It obviously depends on what he picks and bans. As for map, though, I should definitely get that set. Let's go with the classic. Elangui, I feel like, is so overdone. Could do something interesting like the Wasteland, I guess. No, this isn't the one I was thinking of. What's the other one that's like, it's kind of like this, but it's not as bad? This one, it kind of has these weird choke points right here. I don't remember the name of the map. I'm horrible at remembering the names. Grimgore! Maybe. Possibly. Yes, there is a list on Turin's Discord. Posted it. The list is subject to change, of course, as people drop and, you know, don't see messages in time, but get things going. Yep, normal pick and ban. So the way that this works in my King of the Hill is the sitting king picks and double bans, but they can't pick the same faction twice. Black Ark Landing. No way. Oh, man. As fun as that sounds. Pillar of Bone's okay. Not completely amazing, but it's pretty good in a lot of ways. You get 3 idols in one army. Not in tournament play. Not by the rules that we're doing. We are using, I should say. I should really put a link to the banner rules in the description. Okay. Let me just take care of this real quick. Hey, what's up, Ant-Man? Good to see you. Okay, we're almost there. You could get a spider, an idol, and a giant. Yes, that is legal. Absolutely. Could even make it a spider lord. But that would be very expensive. Welcome. I'm gonna go ahead and jump in here at first, which I know is kind of strange to play in my own KOF, but I enjoy it. I enjoy, you know, fighting challengers, and then once I get dethroned, I'll just cast on, right? Altar of Ultimate Darkness. The best quote-unquote map, the best map in the game is Broken Land. It's literally broken. It's completely broken in every way. You guys ever want to see the worst map in the world? For multiplayer, that is. It's a really cool looking map, and, you know, for campaign, definitely be a lot of fun to play on. Opens up some possibilities, but it is, I mean, one side just starts with a clear advantage. Ban Empire and Dawi is going with Coast. Okay. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. I think I'm gonna go with the Greenskins. That's what you guys want to see, right? That's what you want to see is the Greenskins. Okay. Let's go ahead and get this back. And ready to go. Okay. So I'm going to throw up a screen blocker. Yep. Oh, that one's not big enough. Turin's ever-chosen mullet. How about we do this one instead? This is Falcon's army guide, which is not visible. Okay, there we go. Kind of Falcon, not necessarily his army guide per se, but he posted this a while back, just sort of showing how he thinks about his army, like spends and everything. So yeah, we'll go ahead and blow that up there. And let's get to picking. The question is, what do I want to do here? A few things we could do. So let's do this. Get the boy here, and we'll get this. And definitely need the lad also. And for the rest of the build, a couple of these. Okay. I think that'll do. I'm missing a component. Let's see, do this. White. Big think. Big think. How did I do this? Many decisions are to be made in a situation like this. That's right. Right. Action going here. Almost finished here, guys. Tough. Tough against Coast. Have a lot of good tools. Okay, I think I'll just do this. Yeah, I think that'll do. Oh, wait, no, hang on. Let's do this instead. kind of overthinking this, to be honest. But that's just how it goes, you know. Times. Screw it. Let's just grab one of these. That'll work. All right. Got a 3 spend. We're ready to go. Hey, what's up, man? Tam and 10 coming in with the 25. Ever generous as always. I was totally not paying attention to the chat while I was picking my army, but huge thanks, man. Super generous as always. Hey, thanks, Aravind. Much appreciated. Just spam Wolf Rider archers. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see how this goes. I was practicing this matchup a little bit the other day. I don't remember exactly what my build was. I need to... I thought I had saved it, but I totally didn't. Just you know what? I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna make my army blocker and like a full army of war wagons always, regardless of what faction I'm playing. Just a full army of pistoliers. Oh yeah, we'll see how about all the gits crumping. Yep, just general mobility. Usually the Lord is mobile, right? Unless you're some weirdo that plays Footlords. Like Beastman players. Alright. War wagons with glittering robe as a front line. There we go. That's a big brain play right there. I don't think I can even handle that much of a big brain play. Oh yeah, I got it. Just cast the entire game. That would be bad. Can't say I've never done that. Can't say I've never done it. But it's definitely never good when it happens. I like playing with some Footlords. Certain types of Footlords. Miguel Prince hit like a wet paper towel. Yeah, he kind of does. His charge bonus on the Pegasus is actually really strong. That's his best attribute. But yes, Skelt. It's not a combatant by any means. Hopefully, Ice Power's game didn't crash. Okay, there we go. How do we want to approach this? Probably through this area. I'm trying to decide what's more likely, if he's going to be over here or over here. Just gonna have a look. Over here, he's got a bit more room. So probably that means it'll be over here. So let's get Skarsnik over here. We definitely want him be all the ready. I think we can do this. Squig Hoppers on 5 and put him up here. Might go head first into a Bloaty Boy, so let's actually go like over on this side. Can we hide there? We can, mostly. And then, yeah, goblins we just want up front. Get the second line here, kind of reserve of loons. Get the Daka line set up like so. That loose formation, such a thick unit. Okay, Skarsnik front and center. We got our infantry line now, ready to rock. Caster. These guys all on guard mode, and we got those guys up there. Finally, get the Bob. Big old Bob. And the wild wagons, just to kind of run in and YOLO wherever, do some disruption. Okay, I think we're ready. Oh, the Gelt Prince, title of Sigvald, obviously, yeah. Alright. Go ahead and ready up. I think he's ready. Oh yeah, okay. Let's push forward. What's he got there? A mortar? Oh, what do we got there? Yeah, it looks like a mortar probably. Oh, we got Nocti Boy up on a Necro. Bunch of Halberd zombies. Lamprey's Revenge. Yeah. Okay. You know what? Let's come start harassing over here. What are those carronades? Those are carronades. Okay. We do need to be somewhat careful. Oh, and I got some wild doggos behind me. Okay. Let's actually just move back in that case. Let's keep moving up there. Gonna be taking some shots on the chin, but that's fine. That's funny. Okay, let's get the gobos moving. Go ahead and just path through there. Kind of taking some shots on the hag, but that's fine. Let's go ahead and just drop bombardment right there. Start throwing out some spirit leeches also. You guys start Daka-ing them. That's a word, totally. Oh yeah, also pull back. You guys are way out of position here. Let's get the protection set up. You guys can come over here. Okay. Get the anti-large bonus. Let's also enrage those guys. Looking good there. Okay. Daka. Daka in. Oh, this is a juicy Juicy Fanatics opportunity right here. Go ahead and throw that in. Okay, you guys can go collapse there. Also you. You guys all keep the Daka up. Fortunately, my trolls did rout there, as to be expected, but let's go ahead and throw a Soul Blight here. Do another Spirit Leech on the Lampreys. Okay, Daka's Daka-ing, as they say. Okay, let's go ahead and collapse back here. Those Depth Guard just got absolutely rizzacked. That was pretty good. I wonder what happens if we attack Noctilus with the Pump Wagons. I actually have no idea, so let's go ahead and pull back with these guys. Pull back with Skarsnik. We can allow the Gobos to do the fighting. Let's also get the archers like up and around the flank here. You guys also come over here. Okay, we have some Fanatics that I'm failing to use, but it's okay. They're winning anyway. Oh, good. The Pump Wagons are losing to Noctilus, as I would expect. That's fine. Let's go ahead and start shooting Nocti Boy. And also just run through with the trolls. Oh, she routed. That's fine. You can just kind of path through there. Pump Wagon, you can come back. You guys can come in here and just totally annihilate them very quickly. Okay, we got these guys over here. Arsenic is somehow losing. Okay, that makes sense. Throw a Spirit Leech on that cannon right there. Get the air boys moving up. The troll squad also. Keep them pushing here. Skarsnik can just path through. Go ahead and throw that nasty fungus on Nocti. That should be fine. Okay. Go ahead and engage those guys. Get another this action. Zombies are thick. Here we go. Gotta get knocked into an enrage. There we go. Got it on lock now. I didn't even use my Mither. That's fine. Oh, that fermented fungi. I should feel bad, but we're playing undead. Come here, Gunny. I want to talk to you. Oh, yeah. Bob and the Trolls is definitely a great combo. Definitely very solid. Stone Trolls in general just very strong, and the Squig Hoppers are a carry here, specifically because they hard counter the Warhounds. They have anti-infantry, right, and Hounds count as infantry. Same thing like with these Depth Guard, they're like armored infantry, so the Squig Hoppers paid out a ton of value there. Very happy with their performance. Super essential. Also, of course, the Fanatics getting a ton of kills on some casts there. Yeah. Stone Trolls definitely MVPs. One of them routed a little early, but the one that stuck around got some work done. Absolutely. Bob, of course, tanking like a champ. Oh no, Stone Trolls, they have like 30% missile resistance and a bunch of armor. It's pretty good. Pretty good. Right, meanwhile, Cav's still chasing the dogs. Yep. Yep, Squig Hoppers. Just one thank. Thank. Alright, so let's see who's up next on the list. Go ahead and toss the message out. Yep. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Stone Trolls are good in most matchups, actually. I'm gonna go out and say this. I don't think this is really going out too far, but Stone Trolls are by far the best troll unit in the game. They're the best trolls. And it's, like, not even close, I don't think. Hey, what's up, Iris? Okay, let me go ahead and add Dying Sun here. Everyone scrambles to the Discord. Yep, we're a little out of order on the first few, but are there matchups where it's good to not bring at least one Stone Troll? Vampire counts, I guess? I mean, even still, the mass is nice to block Vampire Lords or whatever other flying units when they come down to the ground. Yeah, maybe that's the only one, because they don't have any ranged units. Although, even still, though, the magic resistance helps, right? Against, like, Mortis engines and, you know, other things. Any kind of spooky ghost units do magic damage, right? So, I mean, even still, there's an argument to be made that you should bring them there. Chaos Armor Trolls, yeah. Yeah, the armor is pretty decent. I should try that. Yeah, let's look at Chaos real quick. The nice thing about the Stone Trolls, too, is they have more weapon strength. They're like just best trolls, basically, by far. Yeah, 950 for these guys. The thing about Chaos is you have access to Spawn, which, although they don't do as much armor piercing, they just have way more total weapon strength, right? And if we look at the AP values, only 42 AP here. Here, 70. So Chaos Armor Trolls definitely have better AP values, just Chaos Trolls in general. And yeah, you can bring Bob. I don't know, though. From what I found in my experience in that matchup, you almost want to still play like you did before in many ways, and not take Bob and just take a lot of units which are either immune to psychology or unbreakable, or, you know, just try and play off of that. You don't necessarily have to take Bob. You can also take Grom, which sounds risky, but Grom is actually, he's kind of like Volkmar in that if you keep him alive, he's very hard to kill. So against vampire counts, actually, he can be a viable option. But, okay. Let's see. Let's ban Counts and Dwarfs. And let's go ahead and change the map. We'll do, what is it? Bloodpine Woods. Yes, that's a good one. Yeah, Bob has pretty good HP. It's not so much about getting him sniped, it's just more about I want my hero slots for other things. And I would say blobbing against the counts is probably a bad idea for most factions, especially with Mortis engines. It's just tough. Worth the salary. Alright, Dying Sun gonna go with Lizardman. So let's pop up the blocker once again. And for the team, for the army, what do we want to do? What do we want to do? Let's double check something here. Da, da, da. Okay. So, in that case, let's do this. Okay. Then get a little bit of this hot action here. Let's go all out. Let's meme it up. Okay, that's fine there. That's fine. So those guys definitely want some guys. That looks good there. We'll grab them. Actually, let's do this. Wait. Wait a minute. Ooh, that is an issue. That is a potential issue. Okay, let's rethink a little bit then. Hmm. Oh no. Oh, that's a terrible idea. Maybe I should. You know what? We're gonna do it for you guys. This is not a good build, but we can try. Oh, we can try. Alright, I mean, if we're gonna go all out, might as well. What the? Oh, it's here, okay. Okay. That will be fine there. This is not gonna work, but we're gonna do it. We are gonna do it. Please throw one of these. Oh man, you guys are gonna laugh at me when you see this build. Yep, you'll see. We're loading in now. This is a silly build. It shouldn't work. I hope it doesn't. We shall see. You guys ready? This isn't full wagon train, but it's pretty close. Pretty dang close. Okay. I don't even know what to do with my groupings.
By Ulrich's wrath. Ranging target.
That'll be fine.
Swordsmen, soldiers of the Empire. Swordsmen, listen up.
Okay, let's do that.
Spearmen.
Oh boy. Okay, main volley 4. Let's do Steam Tank on 5, Templehof on 6.
The Temple of Luminarch. Yes, my lord.
And let's go 7, and we'll do Pistoliers on group 8. This is a terrible build. This is just completely awful. I apologize, dying son. Oh yeah, 3 expensive, very expensive, high-powered mobile artillery pieces, because that's just the way of the Empire. Mobile artillery.
Artillery! Cavalry, ready! Hellblaster volley gun! We are Sigmar's heirs! Ready? Ready!
Oh, Marcus. Mm-hmm. Oh, hello, skinks. Okay, let's get you guys up here. You guys maintain visibility. I push up like so here.
Yes, sir! Yes, sir! Quickly! Emperor's might! The Empire endures!
Oh boy. Oh boy, here we go.
To battle!
We got some solar engines. We're gonna have a pew pew.
For the Warhammer! Marcus will fight as ordered. Understood. Formation.
Oh, look at that dodge. Oh, it almost dodged. Almost.
Quick march.
Okay, let's push up.
Yes, sir.
I don't want to get in this open space right here. These guys. No, not my pistoliers.
Go.
Mean.
On
How rude.
Summon
The
fire.
fire mage up. Blast another Luminarch shot.
No lingering.
Ooh, right on target.
Quick march.
Those Bastildons are a little slow.
We await your orders.
Taking some shots on them. You're way out of position. That's fine.
At speed. That's it.
Wonder if we can actually finish this solar engine right here.
Hey, sir! For the twin-tailed comet. Quick march.
Nope, it hit the ground. Good job, Marcus. Good job.
The temple of
Okay, we want this guy to be shooting them, actually. Let's wheel the Pistoliers up and over here. Got some
ready.
Goldwyn Riders coming, so okay, we need to form up here.
On my command. Sigma preserve us.
Oh, what are you doing? What are you doing, Luminarch? You gotta shoot the other solar engine.
Ready! Ready for war! Awaiting orders for Sigma!
Okay, let's come screen out this back. Flip over here.
The Emperor! Sigma calls! To war!
Nice, getting some good damage in there. Not really using my fireballs, but that's fine. Go ahead and throw a fireball at that Stylodon.
Seething fire!
Oop, Empire Knights.
Lingering.
Need you over here.
Formation march! Pistoliers! Formation march! By Ulrich's wrath! Ready for war! Hunts marshal! No escape!
Ooh, that Luminarch's doing work. Definitely paid for itself.
By Ulrich's wrath! General! Weapons drawn! Ready!
Okay, let's have you switch to shooting.
Sigma
Looks like we got the old blood incoming, so let's net him up right here. Oh man, my black lions have taken some damage. That's okay.
Prime, sir! For Sigma! Fire!
Hit him with that fireball. Also got a super juicy burning head right here. Roast out all of the skinks.
I channel.
Okay, you Empire Knights need to come over this way. Hammer them.
Take position!
Pistoliers doing a great job. Oh no, not the captain. What did Captain do to you?
Draw!
Let's net him again.
Yes, General. Our steeds are restless. Very well. The Empire endures.
Let's use an amber bow over there as soon as we can disengage here. You know, I should feel bad, but I think technically they brought too many single entities. Not that that's a big deal, but okay, countercharge there.
This way. Agree. For Heldenhammer, take the ground.
You guys start blasting those Saurus flanks there. That actually connected on the amber bow. Okay, focus shot.
Ready for war. Weapons drawn.
Go ahead and pull away here. Another super juicy burning head right here. Oh, if he doesn't route.
Burn everything. Moving now.
Oh, the solar engines are back. Okay, finish them.
We obey. Weapons
You finish
drawn.
him. You
Which target, General?
start shooting there. Letting my Pistoliers get shot up as always. It is traditional.
Sigma. Get that quick. Forward. Yes. Accord. For the Emperor. Sigma. Guide our fire.
Still got some infantry, or sorry, cav over here. Let's go ahead and charge over there. 360 no scope. Boom.
Swordsman, take the ground. Yes, my lord. Hellblaster.
Yeah, you guys shoot them.
Hammer. Find your targets.
Oh no, Marcus.
For Heldenhammer.
Can you fight a Bastildon in melee? That is the question.
Flame. Seething fire. Prepare for combat.
I think we got it. I think my chat might have bugged out. I can't actually see if you guys are chatting. But, that was a wild build. Actually kind of worked there. Oh, those were just clever girls. Okay. But yeah, I mean, 224 kills on the Fire Wizard. Luminarch absolutely blasting. Steam Tank got an XP Chevron. 60 kills on the Black Lines as well. Technically, he had too many single entity monsters, right? Like Thesaurus, Old Blood plus 3 Bastillodons. I think 3 Bastillodons is a rule break anyway, but that's okay. No big deal. We are not chatting. Yeah, right? I was wondering why you guys weren't chatting, but I think it's just my thing was not loaded in. Too enthralled by the build. Okay, who's up next? Let's do Red Legion. Go ahead and get him in. And let me go ahead and put on a little bit of music. I'll be right back. My apologies, Guac. I thought about Bertonia and then I didn't want to. Been struggling with them lately, trying to get it back into a groove, but let's see what we can do here. Guess I'll pop the blocker back up. Not that I think Red Legion would screen cheat, but a good dude generally. But question is, what to do? What? A bad person again. Or I could not be a bad person. Okay. Let's do this. Okay, do that, and let's get a couple of these. Okay, that looks good there. Ugh. Yuck. Okay. You know what, actually, let's rethink this a little bit. Okay, let's do this. Oh, this is so bad. This is so bad. What am I doing? Okay, let's try this. Oh wait, almost forgot to change the map. Let's do Mouth of the Pass. Oh yeah, you're gonna love this build then, Aristo. See, you know, I wanted to do something fun, Tam10, like the Elftonia. Elftonia is actually probably pretty good here, but I just couldn't find a good build to make it work. So instead, I went to full degenerate flying, max single entity spam. Not really max, actually, I only have 2, but they are both very expensive. Which means, yep, you know it, Tech List plus Star Dragon. With a bunch of skirmish cab. This is a literal degenerate build, so if you didn't think my last build was degenerate enough, this one is possibly more degenerate somehow. So there's that. Hopefully it didn't bring the Eye of Morslid. That could be a problem, although it might also not be a problem. Okay, let's go ahead and just spread it out a bit. I want to stay away from the trees if I can. Yeah, I was gonna go with something fun, but Red Legion's too good of a player to meme against. If I meme too hard, then I'll just get wrecked. You should though, Iris. You totally should. Is the thing.
Illyrian Reavers. Battle calls.
Okay, hit him with the good luck. Have fun. Right, balance of power. Typical Beastman balance of power at the beginning. Oh, okay. Kind of set up like this.
Illyrian Reavers. Ever on. Halt.
Go do some scouting.
Techless. I know the way. For duty. Make off one proud.
Nope, not you guys.
It shall be done. Loyal. Sir. Advance.
Some scouting. Let's see what we got.
Onward. Moving out.
I could just delete this caster right now. That would be mean. I could delete Morgar also. Probably do that instead.
Setting forth. It will be done. Kill them.
Quick hit and run on those gore herds.
Sir, move.
And we'll move off.
Onward. We advance. Illyrian archers. Understood. Yes.
Okay.
For duty.
Gonna fall back over here.
Serve
Oop,
the king.
stayed a little bit too long there. That's fine.
March.
Go ahead and pull back. You guys can pull up over here.
Seeking the foe.
Okay.
I go.
Alright, here we go. See if we can get that Kindle Flame Breath. Oh, that did not do as much as I was hoping it would. That's fine. Okay, you guys can come back over here. You guys can come over here now.
My way. It shall be done.
Doing a pretty good job just kind of picking away at that flank. Let's go ahead and charge in there.
Attack! Asa, move! I concur.
Go ahead and drop down back here. Catch these units out. Pop back up in the air. Let's eat enfeebling foe those butchers of Kalkengard. As our spears fight them, they won't take quite so much damage. Okay, we can come pressure up in the back line over here. Oh, need to pull my Reavers back. Left them in combat for a little bit too long here, but that's fine. You guys keep harassing over here. Oh man, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff. Okay, let's see if we can get these guys real quick. We'll get these guys on a rear charge. Throw a fiery convocation down there. Oh, Reavers. Reavers, get out of there. Come on, Beavers. You guys can countercharge there, get back up in the air. We just want to hit and run as much as possible, almost like we're playing Wood Elves, to be totally honest. Okay, you guys chase those pigs. You guys, let's go ahead and charge in on those pigs right there. Also push these guys out to the mobile area. Nope. Okay, let's pull away. Oh no. Oh no, the beavers. Go ahead and get a big old net right there, and we can drop on the butchers. Also give them an enfeebling foe here. I don't know, I'm not feeling too confident about this. I think our ground forces got wrecked too quick. Not play kite well enough. And the butchers did not take enough damage right there. Go ahead and pop back up in the air. Come on, Dragon Bro. I know you can. Yeah, I mismicroed my Reavers super bad there. Just using them way too aggressively in melee. Now my Star Dragon's stuck on the ground because there's way too much mass right there. It's getting absolutely wrecked. Yeah, that was really bad. Yeah, Beastmen are very strong. That build was not actually very good, so didn't have enough meat to chew on. I guess I could have just brought 4 silver and guard and made a box. That probably would have been better, honestly. But yeah, it is what it is, to be honest. I do feel pretty bad about that, that breath not working on Morgar, but it is what it is. Yeah, I don't know. I think if I had brought the original build, actually, I was intending to bring with a bunch of Dragon Princes, I probably could have won this pretty decisively. Yeah, Techless Bird is so expensive. It's true. It's true. Worth the try. Barely. I don't think I played it very well, to be honest, but I definitely should have just played back more with my spears, like continued to hit and run as much as I can. Okay. No, he's been around for a while. He's pretty good player. All right, let me get the next competitor in. Okay, next up we got Happy Puppy, so let's go ahead and toss a message. Yeah, I should have removed the pigs first, for sure, for sure. That was a mistake, charging the butchers. Yeah, like, the pigs, and that's really ultimately my mistake there, is I wasn't, like, I overcommitted my Reavers and got them caught, and just left them in combat too long. Like, I really needed to hit and run more. And, like, yeah, even using my melee Reavers at that beginning skirmish phase, I think, would have been good to try and draw some of the pigs away, and just, you know, get kind of a weird engagement there. Yeah. Yeah, I could have played back much further with my spears too, and not like slid up to that side. But yeah, no, you live and learn. I'm honestly not very good at kite builds like that because I am not patient enough. But okay, that's good there. All set. Hey, what's up, Poison Ducky? Good to see you. All right. And after Happy Puppy, have a look at the list. We've got Lags, and then Tank, and then I believe Romulan Dog's name is Dr. Waggitstein, or just Waggitstein in general. That's good. Your minion. Uh-oh. For map, go Central Chaos Waste. Yeah, that's a good one. Good competitive map. Yeah, Beastie's not the best target to kite. That's true. That's true. With that build, though, I don't know. Like, just with that much monster focus in the air, like, I really think... I don't know. I don't think that's super viable against the Beastmen. I think they're too wide for that to actually work. Yeah, originally I was thinking I might take, like, a wide cavalry build with, Imric, but it's hard to take a wide cavalry build with Imric. This Imric's pretty expensive. I feel like he's a little bit too expensive, but at the same time, he's also very good. Oh man, Aristo's maps are the best. What are you talking about? I'll hear no slander of them. Not at all, I say. Oh, Waggitstein is not Romulan. Okay, that it seems like a it seems like a nickname that he would use. I think I've seen him as Dr. Krumpenstein before. Waggitstein is a great name. Good to know that you are your own person. Oh boy. Piles against Bretonia. Apologies about that. Followed something a little wrong there. Anyway. Yeah. This going here. Isles versus Bretonnia is interesting. The meta for Bretonnia right now is probably to go Fey Enchantress double Paladin on the ground, just because Lewin up in the air, like, you just get outclassed by the High Elf Air Force. One of the big things, too, is Tempest does so much damage to Pegasus Knights. Makes it really, really hard to contest the air game. Otherwise, you know, Royal Pegasus Knights would be really good in this matchup if it weren't for Tempest. Ah, okay. Magnus Carlsen, World Chess Champion. Dr. Drunkenstein, that's amazing. Wagetstein sounds to me like a orc who somehow found a way to live in the Empire as like a noble, like got a landed estate or something. Sorry, someone's distracting me. Oh, okay, Vampire Counts versus Bretonnia. I also should put a screen blocker up for this. Guess I am looking at a wild army. Absolutely wild. Alright, exactly, Poison Ducky, exactly. That's what I think of when I see Wagetstein. You got it 100%. If an orc could speak, would we really understand it? Oh, that's fair. Probably. Gorse is actually kind of good in this matchup. My Pentacart build, as much as it's a meme, it's actually kind of hard for Bretonnia to deal with, because Corpse Carts are surprisingly hard for Bretonnia to kill. Wagetstein was an Austrian general, probably. I would probably believe that. Okay, I gotta take a phone call real quick. It should be just like 2 minutes, so I will be back in time for the game. Put on some music for you guys in the meantime. And let's see, can I also add Dancing WAAAGH in here? Why isn't it playing? Play! Oh, I think I moved it, that's why, okay. Okay, let's do this. No, not in there. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm trying to find a dancing WAAAGH thing, but anyway, I should just go make this phone call. Anyway, yeah, I gotta go. I'll be right back. Okay, back just in time. I will find that dancing WAAAGH, I swear. Just don't know where I saved it. Okay. Okay. Okay, let's have a look at these builds here, and... oh, that was kind of ham-fisted, but whatever. It's all good. Here it is. Gorst build, you called it correctly, folks. Helmengorst here, I've got a White King up front, some zombies, a couple Blood Knights there, Dire Pack, Necromancer, Vargolf, Graveguard, Corpse Guard, Unholy Lodestone, Skeleton Spears, and a couple of Fell Bats. As for the Bretonnian army, we're going to be looking at Lewin up in the air, a couple of Royal Pegasus Knights, Knights of the Realm, Beastlairs of Baston. Yeah, I've got a Grail Relic here, a bunch of Men-at-Arms, some Peasants, Holy Wardens out on the left flank. Peasants 4 days, which is an interesting choice. Potentially pretty risky against Counts, as the Peasants are going to be literally useless against zombies, which is kind of funny because they're the same cost. It is what it is, you know. Zombies are probably the best, like, chaff unit in the game because they cause fear. And they're being undead, they're basically unbreakable, right? Okay. And they are off. Gorst menacingly plodding along on his corpse cart, whipping his bros. Get a move on, lads. So nasty. Gorst is such a meme. Hopefully the righteous knights of the lady will be able to slay him. Love Royal Pegasus Knights. Absolutely beautiful. Bellbat's eating a few shots right there. That's totally fine. Are these pox arrows and fire arrows, I'd imagine? Yep, mix of both. Fire arrows will be very good against the corpse carts here. Zombie versus peasants, XMT. Oh yeah. You know when XMT's fighting, you're going to be seeing some zombie on peasant action. It's the only true way to do it. Yeah, these guys are just kind of chilling for now. You can see Red Legion mirroring the Blood Knights with these Knights of the Realm. My guess is that he's probably going to try and swoop down with the Knights of the Realm and kind of use them as the ground hammer and then come in behind with the Royal Pegasus Knights. They will be able to melt these Blood Knights pretty quickly if they can get a good engagement on them, but it will be pretty tough. Blood Knights obviously a very elite unit. Right now it looks like the peasant archers are just shooting zombies. They, again, should be focusing on the corpse carts, definitely. Obviously Helmengorst is one. This Necromancer is also one. He's just got summon zombies. And Skorst doesn't have it, and the Unholy Lodestone. All of them are viable targets, but definitely Helmengorst is probably the most important. I say probably, definitely the most important. He is the most expensive as well. But yeah, Blood Knights pushing up and around the flank here. You can see the Knights of the Realm maneuvering to respond, and again, the Pegasus Knights, they know this is their main priority target right here, right? And on Happy Puppy's side, kind of getting a little bit separated with these Blood Knights here. You want to keep them close to the center pocket in a supporting position, and just start to hit and run here as much as you can. Try and draw those Pegasus Knights to the ground and countercharge them. But here, oh man, never seen a bat unit get wrecked so fast. They're just absolutely toasted. Done already. This is a potentially good situation for Knights of the Realm, though. They're going to come in and probably get a side charge on these Knights of the Realm. The Blood Knights can do it, as they say, but very nice response from Red Legion. He's going to sweep over with the Pegasus Knights. And you can see the Holy Wardens also kind of block that charge somewhat. Beautifully done. Only caught the one unit of Blood Knights, though, and this other unit of Blood Knights can now come in and countercharge. This is potentially going to do a ton of damage, although that one unit of Blood Knights is getting absolutely melted. Needs some magic support as soon as possible, otherwise it's going to hit disintegration. But look at that countercharge, man, from these Blood Knights. That's going to do a ton of damage to these Pegasus Knights. They're at 16 models right now. They're holding strong for the time being. Looks like they do have Stand Your Ground active, so that melee defense, at least for a time, was buffed a little bit there. But the Vargulf's getting involved now. That's really not good. These Royal Pegasus Knights need to disengage. They've stayed in this combat for way too long. Taking that countercharge on the chin from the second unit of Blood Knights was rough, man. He really needed to peel like 1-1 and get the timing on the Sword of Corone. But as it is, I mean, they did melt the one Blood Knight, and the second Blood Knight is pulling away. So I guess actually Bretonnia will win the engagement. I'll eat my words, so to speak. I guess just the Sword of Corone makes a huge difference there. And look at that, Vargulf just getting absolutely melted as well. And the Blood Knights countercharge back in, and that's it. Yeah, so I was completely wrong. That's fine. I thought that countercharge would be enough, but yeah. Looks like the Pegasus Knights were able to win the day with Lewin's help and with the Knights of the Realm. I guess, yeah, Beast Slayers of Past Stone were there as well. There was no hope. Didn't even see them. A little bit of Summon Graveguard here from Gorst. They're going to get run over pretty quick. Gorst himself can continue to throw up summons. Looks like it's another Graveguard summon there, and he's going to come forward and try and start draining these Pegasus Knights. The drain effect will actually be pretty decent against them. I believe it goes to its max damage scaling right around 18 models, so that's pretty good, but Beast Slayers are going to rush in. Helmengorst, though, I mean, the drain will be okay. The thing is, with good micro, which Red Legion definitely a good player, he can come in and just continuously cycle charge. It will be kind of hard to get at Gorst, but you see the arrows firing in here as well. The fire arrows in particular will do quite a bit of damage, and a big overextension by this Necromancer and the other spears here. Needed to be at home supporting Gorst, but for the time being, Gorst is actually weathering this fire just fine. with his little box of Graveguard here, just fighting back to back, warding off the peasants and the Holy Wardens. For the time being, things are definitely looking pretty desperate. But I almost wonder if... oh, here we go. Lewin and the Pegasus Knights are finally able to push through the mass and get in and get at Gorst. Come on, get him. Spear support, yeah, spear support, getting spear support with your cav can be tricky because obviously spearmen are typically much slower than your cavalry. But in high-level games, you'll see that a lot of times that both players are playing, kind of playing cat and mouse with their cavalry, like trying to bait the other one to charge into their spears first. It can get pretty interesting. I definitely think this is up for Happy Puppy. It was an attempt. There was a Gorst attempt. I think, yeah. Now, I am a little bit biased to my own Gorst Pentacart build, but, I mean, it has 2 Vargulfs as well as 2 Blood Knights, because that's just so much extra stopping power. And the other thing, too, is you need to stay close to the Corpse Carts. One of the things about the Corpse Carts is they're mass blocks cavalry, right? So when you're fighting in that big blob situation, then Gorst is training, like not very many models can actually get in contact with him because of all the mass around him. And then when they do, they can't escape. Your Blood Knights can countercharge in. Definitely like this build. Personally, I don't know. I'd have to go back and look at how I constructed that build exactly, that Pentacart build, but it's definitely a fun one. On Red Legion side, nice to see a win from Bretonnia. Royal Pegasus Knights absolutely doing work. For the Vampire side, if you wanted to go super meta here, I mean, Gorst is obviously kind of a fun pick. And he's not bad here. I don't think he's meta, but he's definitely not bad. But I would absolutely go with the Von Karstein Lord. Because you get basically Tempest. You don't even have to take him in the air. You can take him on the ground. But you get basically Tempest. Which is so strong for controlling Pegasus Knights in particular, and the damage is very, very good against those lower model count units. Because Pegasus Knights don't really have that much HP per model, you can chip models consistently away, and of course controlling their speed and positioning can be important as well. Yeah, go for it, Bob Tresh. While I get my next competitor lined up here. Let's see here. Look at my list. My MLG list. Okay. So we've got Lags up next, and then Tank. So let's get you. And Tank, you're here in chat, so you're up next. After Lags. And then after Lags, we got... Oh yeah, sorry. After Tank, we got Dr. Wagenstein, Malverde, and then 2 more after that. So we should be going probably another hour and a half, at least 2 hours. Fourth game. It's cool. You know, during this in-between times is a great time you can kind of scroll back and watch the other games, since there's a bit of downtime in between. Okay, let's do this. Pull this back up here. Got it. Okay. Absolutely. There it is. Ooh, stream good? Stream's good. It's just my preview's having some issues. For map, let's go. Tower of WAAAGH will be the map. And now I gotta find that Dance WAAAGH thing. For screen blocker. Here we go. Oh yeah. How about that screen blocker? Oh no, my game crashed. When he changed the map, might have to rehost the lobby. Uh-oh. Good to see YouTube is handling things well. Okay, here, and... okay. Okay. And we're back at it. Nope, that's not what I wanted. Alright, and we're in. We is returned, and they can start whenever. Yes, I love dancing WAAAGH. It's the best. Party, dirt, dirt. Let me see if I can find some hack music real quick. Party. Alright, let's see. This music's gotta be here somewhere. How do I... Audio library, okay. Free music. Sure, let's try this one. Oh, wow. Okay. That's kind of loud, actually. Stop. No, not that. Oh, there we go. That's it. That's the one. That's the one. Oh, yeah. If only he could actually turn wizards into squigs, right? Right. That would be hilarious if they changed up the miscast mechanic somehow. That, like, they could potentially have other weird outcomes, like have a very small chance of having, like, a critical miscast, and on a critical miscast, like, I don't know, you turn into a squig or whatever. Oh, yeah. Damn-10 coming in once again, ever so generous. Big thanks, man. Get the WAAAGH going. Oh yeah, you know they got they got DJ Kotep up there slinging the beats, and all the boys are just dancing down below. Where Zach's up at the front of the dance floor, just going ham. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's almost enough of that, I think. I don't know how much of this hack music I can take. We'll roll with it. We'll roll with it for now. It is pretty loud. I might tone that down just a hair. The lads is in town. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Look at those moves. Getting it. Absolutely getting it. Boom. 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 It's cringy, right? Right? It is pretty cringy. This beat is pretty cringy. You should see the name of it. Okay, I think that's enough of that. Thank you. Thank you. Oh man. Maybe I'll cut together like a super cut in between screen. That would be a good project if I'm gonna be streaming more often. Just do like like I'm almost thinking like there's this sports show that I've been watching, American sports show on YouTube, Pat McAfee show, and the way that they do it, I mean, they're also on radio, so they have to do these ad breaks, and they have like, I'm assuming it's set up through OBS. I don't know exactly how they're running it, but they have like just little interlude things that they can throw in, and like different overlays and stuff as well. I don't know. I kind of want to get more into that, make the stream, spruce it up a little bit, make it look more professional. Like in the interim, for example, we could have an overlay where, I don't know, just have some random stuff going on screen, and maybe a little me in the corner with the webcam. I'm also looking at getting like a green screen, so yeah, it should be a good time. I'm really trying to expand the streaming options as much as possible because I want to stream more, to be honest. I would like to. The last few weeks I've wanted to, but I just haven't had the time. But should be the wah sound for WAAAGH. Oh yeah. Year and a half, yeah. I don't know. I just had it saved. I was like, what's this? Well, throw this as an army blocker. It's a random picture. It says things. Oh man, I was muted. I was muted that whole time. Are you kidding me? How did I do that? I don't even know how I muted myself. Oh, oh wow, okay. Anyway, as I was saying with this build, Rangers up front will be good for anti-infantry against Coast. Like the pick of the Beavers, just kind of hanging out in the back there. The War Lions also, they're in the forest, right? And they do have Strider, so they'll be able to push up through here very quickly. The Coast has kind of taken a bit of a side position here. We've got Hounds in the forest. They can also trade pretty well into the Lions, actually. I guess the Lions have anti-infantry, so maybe not, but handguns, bombs, guns. Yeah, double enemy crab, giant enemy crab. I should also get that on standby. Man, I really want to look at like stream decks and stuff, like some other things. Want to step up my stream game, right? Yeah. For those of you guys who don't know the giant enemy crab reference, just look it up on YouTube. You'll find it. And here they go. Those zombies, as soon as they see the battle has commenced, they just decide to wreck, absolutely wreck this little pavilion siding here. The plaza, if you will. Love these obelisks, by the way. As they're getting the game started, let's just marvel at the beautiful art of this game. The obelisks, the tower itself. And all the kind of cities and such in the background. These coasts are defiling the lands. We must destroy them, says Alariel. Hey, Rubber Duck of War, what's up, man? Good to see you. He made the new meta. See, the big brain play is to release an army guide like that so that you expect what most people are going to play, right? And, I mean, in the video, Falcon even said, and I 100% totally agree with this, like, the builds should really just be used as a base, and then you can kind of build your own playstyle. And a lot of matchups especially, the matchups I would say where the two factions are both like well-balanced in terms of their roster composition. Oh, what's going on over here? We got a fight. We got a fight. Oh, man. The Lions... The Lions found the one dog. The one dog, yeah, not going to do well against two War Lions. That's just way too much value, so he's going to go ahead and turn tail and run. Meanwhile, Red Legion just kind of chilling back with the rest of his forces here. Mortars are inching their way forward. Mortars will do pretty well with their first few shots. The one thing that's nice about Rangers is the loose formation does help quite a bit against the mortar fire. Which army would I prefer to play as here? Definitely High Elves. Definitely High Elves. I like this High Elf build quite a bit. The Plague of Rust inclusion. Yeah, see, I mean, they took some pretty good damage on that volley. The loose formation does mean they have a wider footprint, so they're more likely to get hit, but they take a lot less damage when they do get hit, right? That's kind of the trade-off there. Alariel does need to be careful. She's in range of the deck gunners here. They're not going to do too much damage right out the gates, but they will be something to be aware of. The Plague of Rust will be very important. Rotting Leviathan's 150 armor, so, you know, that Plague of Rust, even still, it'll be at 90, which is a lot, but High Elf Archers will do a lot more damage there. There'll be some variability to it, but you can definitely get some good work done. Alariel going to take some shots from Noctilus here. Oh yeah, she's getting lit up. That's definitely not good. But the Rangers are almost in range. Yep. Guess who has a much superior dual hand weapon ability? It's the Rangers. That being said, there are some bombers very close by. They're gonna immediately just light it up, and yeah, that'll make that engagement go a certain way. Archers pull up on station. They are in range to start shooting now. They probably want to start focus firing. It doesn't look like Red Legion actually has a focus fire order on any specific unit. But definitely like these deck gunners, you could take them out in one focus volley of everyone. And just kind of like pick and choose. Like you take them out, and then I'd probably do the 2 artillery pieces next. And then start to work on the big crabs. As it is right now, I don't really see a focus fire order. You can see the archers are just kind of spreading their fire across the line, which is okay, but the thing about focusing is you can immediately remove it, especially against undead. It's very important where you don't have any leadership component to speak of. If you can just nuke the unit as quickly as possible, you know, that's the best way to get rid of them, right? And as you get rid of enemy units, the stopping power of your enemy's army goes down, right? They'll lose killing power, and just losing units overall is bad. So the focus fire here, not super efficient, but at the same time, Red Legion doing a good job in the backline, getting these War Lions into play, kind of pulling these various high-value units apart, not allowing them to get set. The Rangers were able to eventually just clean it up in melee, and yeah, it looks like eventually the focus fire was done. I'm not really sure. Looks like Red Legion's probably got this on lock at this point regardless, but yeah, just kind of talking you through my own targeting priority. I would definitely go deck gunners first, and then focus the 2 mortars. Just because all 3 of those units, their HP pools are so low that with like 1 volley of all 5, you can probably take them out. As it is, though, I think the Rangers will be enough. I mean, balance of set power is still pretty close, and the crabs are yet to be dealt with, as is Noctilus. There's not really a lot of good tools for dealing with Noctilus here, not gonna lie. I mean, the Rangers can fight him for a while in melee, but I guess with successive Plague of Rust, what else? Teclis also... Oh no, Alariel, I mean, hasn't really been using her healing much. There's not a lot of units that are worth healing, so I'm not 100% sure about the pick of Alariel in this build. But, yeah, I guess just in the late game going to be trying to sustain some of these units. The focus fire now, though, is pretty good on this one crab. You can see without the Plague of Rust, it's not doing too much damage, but the vampire army, the coast army here, is basically completely done, right? There's no zombies left, just a handful of these mortars. So it's really going to come down to the crabs versus the world. I guess with good cycle charging, these war lions can probably deal with the crabs, but they really don't want to sustain combat for too long. And Noctilus continuing to summon zombies is going to be a problem. They do count as large, so Noctilus is going to be good against them. And just because he has such high defense, I mean, even with their attack and anti-infantry, unless they're on the charge, like it's going to have a hard time making contact with them. Looks like we've got another pistol summon here. The pistol summons will be really nice against the War Lions if they can get some volleys off, but it looks like the War Lions just going straight into melee, not allowing that to happen at all. That does allow a Noctilus to kind of countercharge in here, get some work done. This crab just kind of hanging around. Both crabs are fighting spears and rangers for the moment. They're really not taking much damage at all. Yeah. Plague of Rust, it looks like, is active on this one. Yep, only minus 30. Definitely want to overcast that if you have the Winds of Magic too. I'm not sure if Red Legion does or not, but Noctilus kind of pushes these doggos away. Or sorry, not the doggos, the kitties. And thankfully the Silver Helms here are able to get a quick charge, shut them down. Oh, these are actually Silver Helms. I thought they were all beavers. Anyway, that's good. Once you can isolate these crabs, then the focus fire from the archers will eventually deal with them. There's not a lot of models of archers left, and they don't have a ton of ammo, but with that overcast Plague of Rust especially, it should be enough. I just don't know, though. I mean, there's what, like 1,200 HP between the two of them, plus Noctilus? That's a lot to deal with. It's definitely a lot to deal with. You can see one more summon here being used by Noctilus. They get absolutely wrecked by Rangers, just completely surrounded and cut to pieces. So it really does come down to the crabs and Noctilus, which, I mean, just from an army selection standpoint, very good against the High Elves. The 150 armor is so high that even against Plague of Rust, it's still hard to, you know, to get that done. You can see here, this one is overcast, goes down to 90 armor, which is pretty good. And with that, the bows will do a lot more damage. They'll do anywhere between 45 to 90% of their non-armor piercing damage on each shot, right? So whereas at 150, they're going to be from 75 to 100% mitigated. It's pretty intense once you get up that high. Yeah, you can see that Plague of Rust actually in the focus fire is forcing this one just about into crumbling here, which will do a tiny amount of damage over time. And finally, we see the Star of Avalorn being used to sustain the Spearmen in the late game, and the Rangers too, I guess, probably as they fight Count Noctilus. I might have saved that, but I guess there are still quite a few models on these Rangers. If they're getting that healing effect, they are going to be getting some nice work in. The leadership effect trying to be used there, and a hit and run from the Lions, but not going to be enough. They're going to pull away here. And this crab taking the focus fire will get a heal. Rest of the High Elf infantry just kind of pulling back. He can pull back and just kind of play off of his archers until they're out of ammo. It's going to be the best bet. They don't have a ton of ammo left, though. Just about out. We can see actually a couple units are starting to run out here. These guys are on their last volley. And these guys have, what, 4 more volleys left? So there's really not a ton of ammo. It's going to come down to the cycle charge of the War Lions. I almost wonder if you shouldn't have saved that Star of Avalorn for the Lions as well, because they have a low model count. They're basically the best candidate for healing in this army because of that low model count. They're really not that expensive at the end of the day. But yeah, the Earthbloods and the Star of Avalorn, there we go. There's an Earthblood getting called in to catch that Rahagras Pride. Didn't unfortunately catch both of them, but that Rahagras Pride still has 15 models. That will provide quite a bit of healing there. And this big crab, again, Plague of Rust active, will allow the Spearmen at least to get a little bit more work in. Archers also using up their last volleys, getting some good contact there. They're not going to do too much damage, but every little, chip helps. And at this point, you could even potentially run in with the Metal Mage. Basically paid for herself at this point. But this is, yeah, interesting. The Lions are going to get kind of a surround here, but they are fighting 2 I almost called them spiders. 2 crabs, which is just a lot. They do get some good hits in, though, before they disengage. And you can see here that WAAAGH is just pathing through, trying to get on the archers, on the rangers, and basically the non-armor piercing units, right? He can't really chase the War Lions much, but War Lions can definitely ping-pong and cycle charge around. Here comes the Metal Mage after throwing another Plague of Rust, just a regular Plague of Rust this time. She herself is going to run in. War Lions also come in and get a charge with their armor-piercing damage. Man, I just don't know. I think the crabs are going to be too much. I really think they are. I have been in a similar situation before. Almost the exact same situation, actually, in a tournament. I think it was a faction war, actually. I think, yeah, when I was playing Empire in the faction war, that's right. I had a very similar game to this. It came down to, like, Marcus cycle charging Noctilus in melee. This is going to be a long one still. I mean, effective play on both sides. Rahagras Pride using that leadership debuff one more time, but everyone's high enough that it's really not going to make much of a difference. And besides, leadership doesn't really matter much to the undead. Invocation of the Heck does provide a little bit of healing on that one that's low. Not quite to its healing cap yet. I think this is it. I think the crabs are going to take it. Yeah, immune to psychology. I guess, yeah, the healing is good. The healing, again, this is a misplacement. You definitely should have had the War Lions be the recipient of this healing. And, yeah, I know Red Legion will probably watch this back, and that's why I'm kind of giving him tips and advice as we go along here. Not like trying to criticize him or anything, just so you guys are aware. Just trying to coach him. And as it is right now, yeah, these War Lions should have been the recipient of that healing, and I think this build could have worked. Also, the focus fire from the beginning, like I mentioned, that was kind of at the beginning of the game. You could have used your ammo a little bit more efficiently, and because the mortars were counter-shooting the archers, you want to shut them down as quickly as possible. So, yeah, I actually, in hindsight, I was saying I might hit the deck gunners first, but I think actually I'd hit the mortars first, because that's the main threat to your archers, right? The mortars plus the hounds. The hounds got taken care of pretty quickly. The mortars were left online a little bit too long, and all those models lost for the archers means less arrows to throw at the crabs later on in the game. So I think with a little bit of more efficient focus fire on the mortars and with a little bit more efficient use of the magic and abilities, he definitely had what he needed to win here. And props to WAAAGH, great build setup, and he played it perfectly, kind of keeping his crabs back as long as possible and only bringing them really up in the front until they were absolutely needed, mostly just protecting the back line, letting the zombies take the heat, while also doing some good counterpunch here. I don't know, though. This one crab is almost down. The cycle charge from the lions is almost going to work here. WAAAGH's Pride, unfortunately, are going to melt away at only 5 models. Looks like these other war lines probably are going to rout as well, but at least this one Rotting Leviathan is in crumbling. As long as they can keep it in crumbling, it will be gone, you know, in like 5 minutes. Actually, no, 1 minute, sorry. But I actually think it's probably going to go down faster than that. Those war lions are getting some decent hits. Alarielle also rushes in there. She's got to be careful, though. Oh, don't get pinned next to the crab body. That crab body's thick. Uh-oh. And depending on which way Red Legion tries to pull away here, Alarielle could actually get killed, and that would lead to army losses, absolutely. Oh, man, this is not good. She's stuck. She's got to pull out this way. There we go. Okay, she's free now. Unfortunately, the last of those war lions did rout, so there's no more armor-piercing units left. Oh, and the hero gets a punch to the face, gets punted right to Noctilus. That's very unfortunate. I think that's army losses. Nope, not quite. Our elves are continuing to fight here. Alarielle able to kind of rally her forces together. This healthy unit of spearmen will be decent. But that Rotting Leviathan, man, 171 kills, 3 XP chevrons. It's gotten absolute work done. Absolute work. And this is one of the reasons why some people like to bring Tyrion in this matchup. Or, actually, Eltharion might not be too bad as well. That's kind of a similar... Eltharion's like your hybrid caster fighter, whereas Tyrion's more of a pure fighter, but the fact that he's fast speed and he does great armor-piercing damage means he'd be really nice in a situation like this. Fighting the crabs. And that is game. So nice roll there by Red Legion. But WAAAGH comes out on top. Yeah, man, those 2 crabs. WAAAGH's crabs. Okay, and let's go ahead and get the next competitor in. We've got Tank, then WAAAGH. Yeah, very close. Yeah, exactly, Falcon. I do think that he had a pretty good push going at one point, but the crabs were just too much at the end of the day. I would feel pretty crabby too after that. You know, actually, a Lithanar is kind of good in that matchup too. Now that I think about it, because the Vampire Coast is too slow to catch him, and he'll do a lot of damage if you let him. He's got enough ammo to do decent damage to crabs over time. He could snipe out artillery pieces. Actually, yeah, Lithanar I might roll with in that matchup. Bring a tree, man. Against Coast, that's a great idea. Smacking my mic real quick. Alright, alright. Yeah, Lithanar is good against Skaven and Coast. Like the maybe Dwarfs too, but that's a little bit riskier. But basically any matchup where you need to countershoot like artillery pieces and your opponent is too slow to catch him, then he's good in those matchups. Skaven actually are fast enough to catch him. It can be a bit of a problem, especially against somebody like Snitch. Snitch will absolutely assassinate a Lithanar, which is kind of hilarious, but yeah, against Coast and Dwarfs, since they can't catch him, he's pretty decent. And I think with Dwarfs, because his shot is like a bolt thrower, it'll like hit multiple models of Dwarf infantry. I haven't actually tried. I mean, the Alariel double Noble Chariot is just so common in that matchup that you would hardly ever see the Lithanar, but you could potentially pull something off with him. Speaking of Dwarfs, we're going to have Dwarfs versus Warriors of Chaos here on Toothgrass Hill. Should be a good time. And pop here. I guess I should probably put a screen blocker up. Don't worry, no cringy rave music this time. Just dancing, WAAAGH. One of the things that's helped me when it comes to micro is using control groups. Like I've pretty much gotten a system down now to where I almost always use the same control groups for the same thing. Like, so for example, you guys were, if you go back and watch my games earlier, you'll see that primarily my skirmish line is usually group 4, like for my infantry skirmish line. And then like cavalry, my main cavalry force is usually 5, 1 is Lord, 3 is either caster or whatever other high value single entity like a monster or something. Yeah, and then 6 is usually just another miscellaneous mobile unit, 7 skirmish cavalry artillery, like 7 and 8. Yeah, no, the noble chariots are okay. The thing about Vampire Coast is zombie infantry are actually have pretty heavy mass. And the other thing too is like you don't really have problems killing zombies as high elves. The main thing that you would want to kill, and like you don't really have a problem counter shooting either to a degree. I mean, if the coast goes very heavily into shooting, then they can outshoot you. But it's, I mean, they're going to put themselves at severe risk of getting rushed at that point. I don't know. I'd have to kind of tinker with that matchup and see. But generally, High Elves can countershoot with Coast. Yeah, the one on horseback, because it has anti-large AP, makes him trade really well against crabs. So, Tam and 10. Oh, thanks, man. Much appreciated. Yeah. I'm gonna go to the store today, to be honest, because you've been so generous. I'm gonna go and look at some stuff today. I've been looking at like a graphics card upgrade. Want to grab a green screen, make some cool overlays and stuff as well. Yeah, so as for the builds on the field, let's have a look at the Dwarfs here. We do have a Wild Gyro Bomber for some suppression and damage. A Rune Lord. We've got Hammerers, very interesting. We have a look over here on the far side of the hill. We've got some Drakes, some Troll Hammer Torpedoes, Norgrumlings, Ironbreakers. Yeah, some Slayers, Bolt Throwers. And that's pretty much it. Longbeards with great weapons. Pretty standard stuff. I mean, it's a dwarf build. Dwarf warriors with great weapons as well. Interesting to see all the great weapons in the front line. They do not have charge defense, at least the dwarf warriors don't. As for the Warriors of Chaos, like this build right off the bat, we've got Sarthrel, double Exalted Hero. A whole bunch of great weapons, just tons of Marauder and Warrior great weapons here. And a couple Gorby's Chariots. That is very straightforward. No subtlety to this build. I would say it's a Khorne build, but of course we've got Big Bird up here, so clearly it is a Tzeentch build. Oh man, I love Big Bird. It's so silly and amazing. Gyro Bomber comes forward, gonna start hitting that Exalted Hero. So far has not tagged him actually with that first volley, so did not get the suppression effect. But as it pulls back to the line here, it can turn around and try and get a shot. Get back to the supporting kind of elements here. The Bolt Thrower is gonna start to open up. Now, if he can turn around with this Gyro Bomber and just get like 1 or 2 hits in here, that will slow the Exalted Hero pretty significantly. Allow the Bolt Throwers to get a little bit more clean shots, but it looks like just trying to pull all the way back to the line there. Trying to stay safe as it is, but this Exalted Hero has taken some damage, and keep in mind, again, there's no healing for Warriors of Chaos, so can be a bit rough for them. Taking that chip damage on their monsters, but it looks like, again, Gyro Bomber's going to come forward. Will it get some suppression fire? It did actually get the suppression effect there on the Exalted Hero. Very nicely done. The overshots as well. Probably going to hit some of these Marauders. But needs to be careful. Ironbreakers are forming up a good defensive position. One thing Tank can do, though, is like you can see how the Ironbreakers are pulling back. That leaves the flank of these Axemen, these, all these great weapons exposed, the Longbeards and the Dwarf Warriors. So this Gorby's Chariot, it looks like he's going to push her up around into the back. I actually would have just pushed it straight into the side here, along with Big Bird. You could have got some really nice charge damage. As it is right now, Tank is moving in. He's got the Overcast Final Transmutation. Both of his Manticores have come in here a little bit unsupported and taken a ton of fire from those various units. Right now, that Final Transmutation is going to wreck those Trollhammer Torpedoes pretty well. And likewise, it does basically finish off those Bolt Throwers along with the Terror there. But oh man, oh, the bomber. Oh no, that's blasting charges. I thought the bomber was literally dropping its bombs directly on the Manticore's head. I would have laughed so hard. But actually, that's interesting, because the bomber was like directly over the Manticore. He couldn't get back up into the air. That was kind of funny. But it looks like the Gorby's Chariots now have been activated. They're going to get involved in this fight, start to do their work. And the fact the Exalted Heroes both are back from route, and they've caught the Gyro Bomber now, this is a big, big problem. That Gyro Bomber is super squishy, will go down in a hurry, especially to both of them. And yeah, the artillery is now getting disrupted as well. That being said, we've got the Dragonback Slayers, along with Master Rune of Wrath and Ruin, on Sarthrail, so no way he's escaping there. But two Trollhammer torpedoes and 2 bolt throwers is a lot of range to protect. Norgrumling's Ironbreakers are doing their best, holding out on this side, just unleashing blasting charge volleys. I don't know what happened to those hammers. Probably got routed off. No, they're still in the front line, absolutely hammering on some Marauders. Pretty decent stuff. But unfortunately, these Manticores being here to disrupt doesn't allow these Trollhammer torpedoes to get online. And, yeah, as soon as they can, though, they're going to start to do an insane amount of damage. You can see, like, this guy, all of a sudden, he's going to start getting absolutely lit up by these Trollhammer torpedoes, little football bombs. Does not rout him, unfortunately, and because they're, again, kind of blobbed up a little bit here, both of them are going to get charged. One of them immediately gets terrified away. These Dwarf Warriors are here to kind of screen, but the frontline fight has gone pretty decisively in Chaos's favor. What initially seemed to be a rough situation for Tank, he has been able to stabilize very well, use those chariots to his advantage, get those Exalted Heroes back, and picking off that Gyro Bomber is definitely a big play. That Gyro Bomber is going to cause huge problems. And yeah, for the Dwarf side here, for WAAAGH side, I almost wonder if he shouldn't have brought us another Rune Smith, just to have the 2 slows in addition to the Gyro. That way you can really control those Manticores as much as possible. And from a target priority perspective, those Manticores, you know, you gotta finish them off. Maybe even use the Gyro Bomber to chase them off. I don't know that it's fast enough. I think 85 speed, I think it's about the same, actually. I think maybe even possibly faster, but anyway. Orbeez Chariots getting in here. Absolutely plowing through these Dwarf infantry. Here comes Big Bird also, just going all over. Yeah, it basically killed the Chariots and Manticores, but didn't finish anything. Exactly. You couldn't quite finish anything off, which is ultimately the problem. That is a bit of a Dwarf problem in general, but I almost wonder if you were to cut... Oops. If you were to cut all the Great Weapon infantry, because they're just going to die anyway, Great Weapon Dwarf Warriors, if you cut them for shields, I'd have to math it out how much exactly you'd save, but I think, again, if you can cut them down a little bit, maybe you cut the Hammerers as well for just, you know, like Longbeards with shields. Just take more defensive units. You could maybe afford to take like 1 or 2 Brimstone guns also to give you more of an air force, and then the Brimstone guns for sure will be able to chase the Manticores off once you rout them. It's one of the few units you can use to actually chase opponents off, and here where Tank didn't have any ranged units to screen them, they can basically operate more or less with impunity, right? So once they get rid of those Manticores, that is. From a targeting priority standpoint, I mean, just a little bit rough situation there, only having the bomber that can potentially chase off, and that is a pretty expensive target as well. Like, you don't necessarily want to be over chasing, right? You want to have that missile support and the slow, especially in the front line, but I guess with the suppression effect, it will very easily stay caught up with the Manticore and continue firing at it. So that's the thing, right? But yeah, personally for the Dwarf Infantry, like all these great weapons I'm not the biggest fan of. I would definitely replace them all with shields. Like you could take 5 Dwarf Warriors with shields, and I think that would give you enough for 1, maybe 2 Brimstone guns. And then all of a sudden this build's looking pretty solid. I think I would like it a little bit better, but not too bad at all. Almost worked. That second Gore Beast, though, came in, got an XP Chevron there, got a ton of damage. Anvil needs a rework. I would love for them to make the Anvil like an actual artillery piece. It is pretty boring right now. It's like, yay, I get army-wide magic resistance. Anyway, looks like that is that. We'll go ahead and get the next competitor queued. It is WAAAGH. Here. Let's double check. And as for next up, got Malverde. Here. Once again, okay. There it is. Got the request. And that, okay. We're getting through the list. Probably got about another hour and a half left. It's good because I'm going to have to leave shortly thereafter. Cool, cool, cool. All right, all right. Put the blocker back up. Old dance WAAAGH. Gonna see some more High Elves today. Banning Greenskins and Bretonia. Two good bands. Solid bands for sure. Oh, and my game crashed. Once again, the map changing crashed my game. That's fine. We'll rejoin. Alright, and we're back in it. Here we are. Has returned. Alright, we're gonna have some Norska versus High Elves. Very interesting. Historically, this matchup has been Norska favored, but currently I would say it's, I think the High Elves, because of some of their new tools, have an advantage here. I don't know necessarily about an advantage, but it's certainly more even than it used to be. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one for sure. Going to be an interesting one. Let me go get something, guys. I'll be right back. Yeah, actually, we'll see if I have time. I'm supposed to go help my mom move some stuff. She is moving out of her place, so I need to go help her move some stuff. I promised her I'd do that. I don't know how long that's going to take, but I'm hoping I'll be done in time to go hit up some electronic stores. We'll see. If we finish up here quick enough, I might have time beforehand, but that's a bit iffy. Alright, and they're ready. Perfect timing. Oh yes. Absolutely banging. WAAAGH's dancing to the beats. Ba-da-da-dum, ba-la-da-bum. Yeah. Yeah, Tamanten, I appreciate you donating through YouTube. I mean, the super chat aspect of it is pretty fun, but I'm gonna get Streamlabs set up, and I have it set up through PayPal. I just always forget to, I don't have it in my default description, and I always forget to put it in for the streams. I do have a PayPal, so I will get that set up for next time for sure. Wouldn't be the worst screen blocker to leave up, right? Oh yeah, we gotta let this beat play out. I'm gonna let the beat play out. We'll get WAAAGH back up there. This is almost the end of the song. Oh yeah, turn it up. Oh yeah. Alright, that's gotta let that beat finish out. Such a banger. Such an absolute banger. Thanks, WAAAGH. That is Medieval Total War. Medieval 2 Total War. The best classic Total War game, in my opinion. Which is obviously the only right opinion in the entire world on anything. Just kidding. Let's go ahead and have a look at the builds here for Norska. Up front, we're going to have some throwing axes, Warhounds, Armored Skin Wolves, Marauders, Famir of Shadow, some Famir Warriors, Marauder Spearmen with some chevrons going on. That's very interesting. They're just not very good. Ulfric the Wanderer on horseback. For the Elves here, we've got a nice defensive position of Silverin Guards. Silverin Guards are very good here. He's got 5 of them, a bunch of archers, Plague of Rust, Techless, some Beavers. We got the Fireborn, and a single Lothern Sea Guard. Defensive Horseshoe. My card is actually comparable. I have a 1070, which is comparable from what I understand. Actually, there's specifically, I'm not like I'm an NVIDIA fanboy or anything, but I definitely would prefer to get an NVIDIA RTX card because of the hardware encoding they have. The NV encoder is so good. it would help out actually for like streaming and stuff quite a bit. And especially now that I'm streaming on a higher resolution, I've noticed more that I'm like basically capped out to where I'm at on my 1070. Like I really can't push it any further. And so to be able to, like, for example, if I wanted to upgrade, right now I'm only doing 30 frames, but if I wanted to upgrade to like 60 frames, it would be, I would need some more power here. But you can see both players kind of doing some skirmishing back and forth. Tank's getting a little far forward with these Fireborn here. Does not want to take the throwing axes directly on them. And you can see that the archers are just kind of right at the edge of their range here. Honestly, soaking all of the archer fire on these lower tier units is just fine. The Famir, of course, the Miststalkers, with that Plague of Rust will get absolutely shredded. And it looks like Teclis is going to throw a net here on one of these Marauder Horsemen. Again, though, these Fireborn are kind of way out of position here. They're going to get countercharged, it looks like, by the Maws of Savagery. I don't know how well that's actually going to go for the Maws of Savagery, but they will countercharge here at the very least. Looks like Enfeebling Foe is on the Fireborn as well. There's no ice units here to provide frostbite. Wulfric could have thrown his boat there. That actually might have been worth it to try and finish off the Fireborn, but you can see how the Miststalkers kind of peel way out over to the side here. They have that Plague of Rust active on them, but they're going to get out of range while the Marauders engage here. Reavers were able to come through and break one Marauder just fine. I would definitely like to see those Beasts of Tashnar go over and clean them up. There are a few other Scattered Hound units that have kind of been forgotten about a little bit. We'll see. Very nice Penumbral Pendulum there, just scything through, doing a bunch of damage to the archers and the little bit to the Lothran Sea Guard there. Obviously, the Silverin Guard will be somewhat resistant to the damage of the Penumbral Pendulums. It still will do pretty well, but oh man, this is going to be nasty. This is a worst case scenario for the Maws of Savagery right here, taking a full rear charge, open field charge from the Fireborn. They're going to get absolutely melted on that charge. Look at their HP just start to completely disappear. Meanwhile, in the backline, those throwing axes are punching hard at the Silverhelms, providing some good damage. The Fireborn absolutely just got a ton of work done, but they might end up actually going down here. Look at this. The Famir Warriors, the Miststalkers getting some good work in. Likewise, the Beavers, Silverhelms, rather, try and follow up. You get a pretty good charge on those Marauder Infantry, but I think the Famir will be able to take it. We'll see. Another Overcast Plague of Rust there, bringing those Famir down to only 50 armor, and a nice countercharge in by the Fireborn here. That Plague of Rust charge on the Famir will actually do a lot of damage to them. The throwing axes are doing their best to try and support, and the Fireborn are taking some pretty hard counterpunch in return, so it's a pretty atrocious trade on both sides. The Silverin Guard may end up proving to be too much, though. It doesn't look like the Marauder Infantry was able to win against the Silverin Guard, which you wouldn't really expect them to, but it's going to leave Norskin in a little bit of a weird position here where they don't really have what they need to finish the battle. They were able to terrify away the Fireborn here, get them even routing. If he can maneuver, yeah, you see these Ice Wolves and Norskin Warhounds. They need to go after these Silverhelms. Unfortunately, the Beasts of Tashnar were the ones that took the charge there. If they had actually... if the other Warhounds had taken the charge and the Beasts of Tashnar had got like a rear charge, that actually might have been really good. But here, these Warhounds will get in, start to mop up some of these tattered High Elf units. Definitely wants to try and chase off as much as he can, but I mean, I guess this is okay, like tying him down with the Hounds, using the throwing axes to get a little bit of damage in there. Boat comes through, really doesn't do too much to the Silverin Guard as it passes over them. Wulfric is pretty well stuck at this point as well, trying desperately to disengage from all these spears and Silverin Guard. High Elf Archers still have enough ammo left that it could be a problem, but the Maws of Savagery and the Famir Miststalkers... Famir. Yeah. Uh-oh. This is dangerous for Teclis, actually. If Wulfric can push through these archers and get at Teclis, he can get some solid damage on him. Oh, there we go. Just punt those archers out of the way. It looks like he's not actually chasing Teclis very efficiently, so a little bit of a burn there, but the Hounds come through. One thing to note about the Norskin Warhounds is they do actually count as infantry, so they can, if you were to gather them all up into a big concentrated mass and start to pick away at these isolated Silverin Guard units, you actually could start to do some damage over time, you know, given enough space and everything. But looks like Famir Boy is back from route. Things are not looking great for Norska, but Wulfric and Wogstein here going to continue to try and fight. Looks like the Hounds going in after the Silver Helms. Actually, the Beasts of Tashnor are able to get a little bit of good damage in there, but they just don't hold up to that heavy armor and good HP and leadership at the end of the day. These other higher value units coming out of the woods now to make their final stand. And Plague of Rust this time on Wolfric, bringing him down to 30, or sorry, 70. Okay. That was weird.
Get to the enemies of order.
Yeah, Miststalkers are going to charge in here. They do get Occam's Mind Razor, which is going to seriously juice up their damage, but that's a little bit of a lost cause at this point. Nice final play. But the magic damage is even rough from the Occam's Mind Razor, because again, those Silverin Guard have magic damage. They're just so good in this matchup. I'm going to be honest, the Silverin Guard almost single-handedly like shifted this matchup for High Elves. Because now, like, they basically hard counter Famir, right? Not 100% hard counter, but it's basically a hard counter. I mean, you've got more fire effects against a faction that's generally weak to fire is awesome, right? Plague of Rust also helps a ton, but really it's all about the Silverin Guard. Good stuff. All right. Let's get the next competitor queued up. Go ahead and get this here. All right. Looking good there. Welcome. See a bunch of people are hopping on the Discord. That's awesome. Love to see that. And yes, we've got things happening here. Let's go ahead and do this. Cool. Yeah, it's a weird one. It's a weird one for sure. The issue is that the High Elves, I don't know actually, like a mass hounds. You know, speaking of Plague of Rust, if you were to take Lore of Metal with Norska and go with like a mass hounds and dogs and like a bunch of Marauder infantry and just go super wide, maybe with double Manticore, that would maybe be okay. Yeah, charge the Maws of Savagery straight into some spears. It's true. Imagine if it would have been a Mammoth. Mammoths do a ridiculous amount of splash damage on their charge. Still techless net. Yeah, that's true. That's true. The Plague of Rust, I feel, does actually help High Elf archers be a lot more effective in that matchup. But yeah. Silverins, the main thing, again, is just they're so good against Famir. And Famir were already... I mean, they're pretty good in that matchup. Mammoths was the main thing you had to worry about. And the Mammoths now... yeah, you can kind of do some different things. I mean, previously you could just shower them in arrows, and it's not like Mammoths had that much armor to begin with. I mean, they only have 70 armor, so really you don't need Plague of Rust 100% against them. It definitely helps, don't get me wrong. But like 70 armor is really not that much. Yeah. I would actually, a chariot focus build actually might be interesting. I haven't tried that for Norska, but assuming if you brought the right tools to deal with, cavalry that try and countercharge you, and potentially those tools would also deal with like a dragon or a Lariel as well or whatever. But chariots, actually, you say that. Oh, and my game crashed again. How about that? No big deal. Yeah, but yeah, actually chariots, because then you can get in and really just mess up that infantry line. And like Silverins guards, yes, they have charge defense, they have good melee defense and armor, but if they get hit by a chariot, they're still gonna die, right? Like all infantry just die to chariots, and they get hit if they don't like get a full surround on the chariot or whatever. But yeah, Manticores are almost like a fire and forget type missile, but you just throw it in your opponent's backline and it causes problems for them. Yeah. Norska is a surprisingly very strong faction. They seem very basic, but at the same time, yeah, it's pretty good. Let me go ahead and rehost here as a spectator. Okay, and let's go ahead and do this. And what map did I just tell them that crashed? I don't even remember. Let's see. Okay. Looking here. Iron Sand Desert. That's right. That's what we were going to do. Okay. Totally forgot what the cursed map was, but now I can be in control of the maps, and it shouldn't crash the game, hosting as a spectator, at least in theory. Yeah, a mix of Marauders and Berserkers is definitely good. The issue, and you do bring up a valid point, you have to not get charged in the face by cav or shot up too much on the approach, which is hard. But that's why I'm thinking like a super wide build with tons of hounds, Marauder horsemen, just running around being annoying all over everywhere. And then you come in with, yeah, and you come in with maybe a couple Manticores, bunch of cheap infantry, just go super, super wide. Yeah, it's an interesting one for sure. It's a very interesting matchup. I'm going to set these guys to start. And let's see here. We've just got 2 more after this. Krakenmeister and Wolf of Sigmar. Yeah, it's an interesting one. I don't know. I do need to play it more from the Norska side. I know it... yeah, the High Elves, they're in an interesting spot. I do really like the new units they got. I think they help quite a bit. Yeah, you kind of get in this revolving meta, right, where like the Phoenix Guard Alariel box kind of gets countered by mammoths to a degree, because your mammoths, when they do the charge, they'll just kill models. So you can just kill models on the Phoenix Guard and eventually wear them down. At the same time, though, mammoths get wrecked by archers. Mass archers gets wrecked by mobility. Mobility gets wrecked by Phoenix Guard Alariel box, right? So you almost have like this cyclical meta of builds, and a lot of matchups actually will develop into that, where it's like you have counter builds and counter builds, like almost going in a circle. You say it's not that hard. Defending your range can be pretty hard if the Norscan player is really dedicated at disrupting you. And it really depends on the tools you bring. Like, there's a few different things you can do, but anyway, let's go ahead and have a look at this Lizardmen build here. We've got Shredder of Lustria, some Croxagors. Did they change the color of the Croxagors again? I don't feel this is right. Are these I think these are the Itza Croxagors. Anyway, we've got, yeah, cohorts up front, a Rev Crystal for healing, some other Croxies, Skink Skirms up front. As for Norska, tank this time taking Norska. He's got Ice Trolls, very interesting. Also potentially risky here because of Solar Engines. Solar Engines will absolutely gat these guys, but I guess that's okay. You got some Javs here, Marauder Hunters, Feral Manticore, Armored Skin Wolves, the Maws of Savagery even, and the Beasts of Tashnar. So that's pretty good. Do I ever finish streaming? No. Streaming forever. We're going to keep going. I've got 2 more. We're almost done. I've got 2 more battles after this. I don't think these are the... Are these the same ones before? I don't know. I like Nikai's Croxagors, but these ones are okay. They look like the Itza ones, to be honest, like Goroks, Roxy's. Also got the handprints on their thighs. Look at those thick thighs. Oh yeah. Another Spirit Leech on the Pterodons here. I guess a first Spirit Leech. That is actually a pretty efficient use of Spirit Leech to go directly after the Pterodons. And the Manticores also come forward and get a pick here. Unfortunate, as it does pick away a couple models from those Pterodons. Really need to try and get out of there if they can. But the Shredder comes forward. Oh man, the Shredder is risky here also. You see all these ranged units for Norska are going to be quite powerful, and the Croxagors honestly just need to push back and start, again, disrupting the range. Just like in the last game, get back and disrupt this ranged infantry and keep it from firing, because right now this Shredder of Lustria is taking way too much damage in this engagement. It looks like Wulfric does get netted in here by Mazda. That is Mazda, right? But, Damn 10, 20 more. Keep the stream going. All right, that's what I'm talking about. Ruination of Cities does come in here and absolutely wrecks 2 skinks, but also tags 2 Marauder units there. That's very nice. That being said, this Shredder, again, taking way too much damage here. It's just been left in this combat for quite some time. Comet of Cassandora comes down. Here comes also a Banishment. Apotheosis. Mazmudi does have Apotheosis, so if he can stabilize this Shredder, he can get it healed up again. But right now, it's really having a tough time. This Manticore consistently getting attacks in the back, and of course, Wolfric as well. It's really not going super well for the Shredder. That being said, the Norscan army has taken an absolute ton of damage. The Shredder's just been tanking, absolutely tanking damage. And now that it's turned around to fight the Manticore, it should be able to just massacre that Manticore. Ice Troll's coming back for another timing push, though. And they can also do some good damage to the Shredder on a side charge. Shredder's going after the Javelin? The Throwing Axe Hunters? I'm not really sure. But looks like the Marauder Shaman Sorcerer did get wrecked there by the Croc Scores. The Ice Trolls now come in, although they're not doing great in terms of their leadership. That effect from the Shredder of Lestria is definitely telling there, that Dread Aversion, but it's about to go down, so that Dread Aversion is going to go away. That being said, looks like, oh no, the Dread Saurian goes down. Wolfric is able to squeak away. Wolfric is very low on HP himself, but that loss of that Dread Saurian is going to be absolutely massive as the Norskins are going to start to get a bit of a surround here. The numbers game will start to tell in their favor. Maws of Savagery coming through. Mazdamundi being so healthy, though, is a problem. Definitely a problem. This Manticore is also a problem. Both of them are. And Mazdamundi's going to try and come back and go after Wolfric the Wanderer, but he really can't get to him. Yeah. Maws of Savagery trading decently against these Croc Scores. Of course, the fire from Marauders on foot will certainly help. Those Croc Scores now countercharging back into the center. Getting a good rear charge on that Manticore. They do get a few hits in there, but Mazdamundi's now in trouble, surrounded by Ice Trolls and Manticores. He's waving his stick, bopping and weaving. Yep. Yep. The Shredder was a gamble, for sure, against a Monster Hunter faction. And had he played it back a little bit more after it got low, potentially could have won the day there with it, but it's a tough sell. Yep, that's a good comparison, Falcon. Slightly worse than Longbeards for 100 more, but with anti-large. Yep, that's a very fair comparison. And considering Dwarfs have the best infantry in the game, it's okay for the High Elves to have one that's similar but slightly worse and more expensive. GG indeed. Let's go ahead and have a look here. Next up, we've got Krakenmeister and then Wolf of Sigmar. Go ahead and do this. Go back to the Steams. And let's see here. I don't know if they beat Longbeards. I don't know. That's a good question. Very good question. Okay, let me go ahead and switch the map. We'll do MP Harriout Ridge. And I will be right back once again. Yeah, as far as Silverin Guard goes, I think it's not too bad. I would probably say that like a slight melee defense nerf, and you could maybe give him like a -2 AP. But to be honest, Marauder champs are just, their weapon damage is not amazing, especially the great weapon ones. But they're okay. I think Silverin Guards are mostly fine, though. You know what still wrecks Silverin Guard, too? Charge damage, right? I mean, they have 75 armor, but it's only 75 armor. They have charge defense, but only from the front and only when they're braced. So you break up any of those conditions, right, and you get a good charge with a unit that has a solid charge bonus, they're going to evaporate. Like most infantry. That's why it's hard for any infantry unit to really truly be OP, because they are just infantry after all. I don't know. I don't know if they wreck Longbeards. I would want to see that. Longbeards have 75 models, right? That might make the difference. The fact that Silverins have 90, but I would have to watch that. Ugh, getting tired. Alright, and here we are. Looks like we're gonna have an undead fight. Tomb Kings versus Vampire Counts. Should be interesting. That's true, Pacta. Yep, they're at full HP. Yeah, and you never really get those clean engagements, right? Like, that just doesn't happen where you get, like, a clean one-on-one with 2 units. Like, the battles are more complex, obviously. And through positioning, through, you know, charges, playing with support, spells, various other things, you can beat them. I really don't think they're that big of an issue. They're slightly overtuned, sure, but it's really not that bad. How long does it take for YouTube to post a stream? It depends on how long the stream is. The longer the stream, the longer it will take to post to YouTube. That's how that works. But typically not more than, in my experience, like 4 hours, 5 hours. I mean, granted, I've never done a super duper long stream. This one's been pretty long. We've been going for a solid 3 hours, 15 minutes. Probably be about 4 hours by the end. So that one it'll probably be up in like an hour or two. Alright, let's have a look at some builds. For the Tomb Kings, looks like they're rocking some constructs for sure. We've got Cetra, Necrotect, and a new improved Sphinx of Usek, now with better leadership. We've got Skeleton Warriors and Scorpion Legion, Skeleton Spears. The Casket of Souls. And Eyes of the Desert. Very interesting. Love the Wild Casket pick. Might be hard to protect against counts, though. We've got a whole bunch of zombies up front. As to be expected, Graveguard, and Graveguard with great weapons. Interesting choices, but definitely showing that the vampire counts have superior infantry. I mean, Tomb Guard are very good. They're a solid mid-tier unit, but Grave Guard are just straight up better. Better armor, anti-infantry, and of course they have about 1 billion healing effects. 40 weapon strength still, so very good stuff there. We've got Heinrich on horseback, a couple Blood Knights, a couple of blocker horrors, and that's it. I do see a distinct lack of corpse carts. We've only got the one non-unholy lodestone, but I think that should be okay. There are 2 White Kings as well. There's the lads. Roomba of Doomba! Huh. On your stream options, Falcon, if you make sure you have checked, there should be an option that says, like, enable DVR or, like, enable, like, save replay or something like that. You want to make sure that's enabled. It should be. I think it is by default, but yeah. Yeah. Got some Blood Knights here. Taking some damage, but thankfully Kemmler can heal them passively. I mean, they're going to lose a few models there, but they can also regenerate models as well, so that's fine. This defensive position with the casket's pretty interesting. I mean, definitely gets good damage early on the Blood Knights is nice. The Grave Guards will also be very viable targets. But tries Incantation of Righteous Smiting, giving a bit of a base missile damage and armor-piercing missile damage. Oh, they actually gave new icons for missile damage and AP. That's interesting. See the casket firing. The Crypt Horrors are going to come forward. I'm not really sure what the intention here. Tank getting himself a little bit separated. But, oh, those Blood Knights looked like they were going to try and come for a charge. Sphinx of Usek just chilling here is a big danger to them. They want to be careful about where they charge in, but... Oh man, look at this wild Krell summon! Oh, Krell! Krell getting into the back line, absolutely starting to grab those bones and break them. The Skeleton Spears will be able to screen him out momentarily, but Krell's an absolute Chad. He can pass straight through, get back, get a hit on the Doomba. Looks like Cetra comes back to say hi to Krell. Krell can actually fight Cetra pretty well also. The fact that the spears are there supporting is decent, but I think definitely Tank should have waited to use that until his army was in range. He could have got a full surround here, and, you know, potentially be pressuring on all fronts. As it is right now, Krell's going to get whomped by Cetra because he can't really get up here, and he's also getting staggered by the Doomba. Again, the supporting spears here also distracting. Mostly just getting punted by Cetra. Bad luck. I said he could beat Cetra, depending on RNG, very unlikely. But alone, it's a lot harder, certainly. He is just a foot dude, after all. You can see over here that the Sphinx got pretty aggressive, came forward, and did a bunch of damage to those Blood Knights. But, oh man, oh, Kemmler. Oh, Kemmler's just sitting here for you. Sphinx, come on. He's right here. Please. Please. Kill Kemmler. Oh, he's running. He's running. He realized. As it is, though, Tank's kind of gotten himself into a little bit of a rough position here. Burning the Krell summon to do a bunch of damage to the casket was okay, but the fact that Krell didn't actually finish the casket off and is going to have a hard time doing so, or I say that, he looks like he might just pass straight through those skeletons and get back and get at it. How much time does he have left on his degeneration timer, rather? Oh, okay, he's still got a pretty good amount of time for the unbinding. First level of unbinding. Looks like the White Kings also come through. There is this giant force of, you know, Grave Guards and everything still that has to come forward. Losing out the high-value units is tough, but, I mean, the Grave Guard, I mean, the Blood Knights, rather, are not completely gone. Crypt Horrors are mostly gone here, having been pretty much sacrificed, but the other unit was able to pull back and get to safety. And more Blood Knights here, getting a nice open field charge, just cycle charging these Skeleton Warriors. Not enough of a response. Cetra and the War Sphinx are going to push through and start to deal with some of the models there, but the Doomba trying to pull away here. Nice gaze attack from the Eyes of the Desert here. There's this one Blood Knight, very brave. Very brave Blood Knight. Oh man, look at that horror just get blasted. Those Crypt Horrors definitely taking it on the chin. They're going to charge in and try and fight the Eyes of the Desert in melee, but the Eyes of the Desert are good enough to probably win that. And you can see this other unit of Blood Knights is getting absolutely stepped on by the War Sphinx, the Sphinx of Usek, rather, the Necro, and Cetra. Some point-blank blasting from the casket here. Let's keep it in cinematic mode and see if the casket can land some shots on this giant blob of foul vampire scum. Oh, here's a shot. Nice! Right into that blob, just doing a huge amount of damage. Most of that probably was zombies, but there are Graveguard mixed in there as well, you know. Definitely getting some damage in. And now Kemmler at this point has a good situation where his forces have surrounded Cetra and the Sphinx. Cetra and the Sphinx are going to try and hold out as best they can, but another beautiful blob drop right in the center mass of those Graveguard with great weapons there. Doomba absolutely paying dividends at this point, able to use up quite a bit of its ammunition. And yeah, at this point, with the loss of the Blood Knights, I say lost, they are still alive actually, which is very critical. The infantry fight, I'm surprised that it's, I mean, I guess the Doomba is really what's making this so even. But yeah, you can see Eyes of the Desert going to be maneuvering up and around the side here to start blasting those Blood Knights. This, oh man, this poor Corpse Cart. Sphinx of Usek does fire damage. And Corpse Cart will pay immediately for that, just get blown up. That's great. That +5/+5 aura will be gone, and that especially helps with the Graveguard in particular. They can trade pretty nicely against a lot of units. But yeah, the White King's fighting the Necrotect here. Necrotect's not an engagement he wants to take. Blaster, the Doom Blaster, absolutely chucking shots. Here comes the rear charge though from the Blood Knights. Getting in here, the Eyes of the Desert thankfully are able to kind of mass repel and use their anti-large AP to respond. Likewise, Sphinx is trying to push through. I think it's actually stuck on this Corpse Cart model here. Yeah, there we go. Now it peels it off, able to get through and get at these Blood Knights. The Crypt Horrors, of course, is well weak to the fire damage of the Sphinx here. And this backline protection looking pretty good. These Blood Knights are going to do their best to fight. Absolutely beautiful cinematic shot here. Tons of cool looking units fighting back and forth. We've also got the Ushabti summon in here, it looks like. So, yeah, going all in here. Tomb Kings, Krakenmeister trying to finish off those Blood Knights if he can. And I believe he will. All the Constructs units are still healthy for the most part. Eyes of the Desert are starting to take some damage, and most of the supporting infantry is gone for the Tomb Kings. You can see these Blood Knights are taking consistent damage. The Doomba managed to get a shot somewhere. I don't know. It is currently surrounded by Crypt Horrors, unfortunately, but it's got a lot of work done. Managed to get some Chevron action. We'll see. Definitely still pretty close. I just don't know if anything can take out Cetra and the Sphinx at this point. I think, yeah. I think Krakenmeister, that's funny. That was the nickname I made for him on Discord. Yeah. Did I say Wagenstein? I meant Krakenmeister. Lokir Meister, I should say. We'll see. I mean, the Crypt Horrors can come in and do AP damage consistently across the late game. Again, though, as the Sphinx counterpunches, they really just need to stay focused. Both the Sphinxes, that's hard to say. Sphinxes need to stay focused on taking out the threats to them, right? The Crypt Horrors, the Blood Knights are the main things. At this point, it's pretty much just them left. There's a handful of these Eyes of the Desert sort of circling the wagons, as it were. Another super cool cinematic shot, holding off these undead from every angle so that the Cetra and the Sphinx don't get completely surrounded here. Cetra's taking some damage, though. He's definitely taken some hits. And it doesn't look like they're able to work on these Crypt Horrors and other power units fast enough. I'm a little bit worried now. The Tomb Kings are going to start to fall behind. Yeah, just the splash attacks are hitting a bunch of different targets, and a lot of them are kind of junk targets, too. Like these Graveguard and the zombies, they're not necessarily what you want to be fighting, and this is bad where Cetra and the Sphinx actually get separated from each other. Although it looks like Tank's kind of going all in after Cetra, which then allows the Sphinx to come get a rear charge here. I don't know if it'll actually proc its charge bonus, but regardless... Oh yeah, see, like that, just into some zombies, that's painful. The curse goes off here from Cetra. That's going to do a ton of damage. It might actually finish these Blood Knights off just from the direct magic damage there. They all are basically at their healing cap, so it's not like they can really heal more. Will that send them into crumbling? It does not look like it does, unfortunately. Cetra able to mostly get away there, but the Sphinx, oh man, the Sphinx gets a good attack there on the Blood Knights. Blood Knights actually do start crumbling, so their time is limited now. The Crypt Horrors also have pretty poor leadership. If they can get finished off, then that will be very good. It's going to just be Cetra and the White Kings, and Kemmler mostly, but another incantation of Cursed Blades there. Blessed Blade of Petra also providing that blinded debuff, but it doesn't look like it's actually imbuing on any of the targets. Oh, the Crypt Horrors taking a big old punch there. I'm surprised those Crypt Horrors are still alive. I don't know how they're still alive. Must have been getting some really bad RNG rolls from the Sphinx there. But Cetra doing his best to stay alive. Incantation of Protection not off of cooldown. So no Incantation of Protection there. But yeah, man, the Sphinx of Usek, its animations are just getting painful at this point. It's not been able to bail out Cetra enough, and those Crypt Horrors just surviving until the late game. Super critical here. Same thing with these Blood Knights. There are, what, a handful of Blood Knights there? There's 3 Blood Knights, and they're still not disintegrating, because crumbling is a totally balanced game mechanic. Oh, man. Oh, man. Kemmler might be in trouble, though. This could be how he gets back in. You can see Cetra kind of separates himself from the Crypt Horrors. The Crypt Horrors actually, I think they went down. Yeah, they went down to the Sphinx of Usek. So now if the Sphinx can finish off the Blood Knights and just have Cetra stay focused on chasing Heinrich, keep him away from the White Kings most importantly, because the White Kings are the biggest danger to him at this point. Those 3 Blood Knights aren't going to do too much. They will eventually go into crumbling, but yeah. Man, maybe I say that, then they stop crumbling for just a second. 2 Blood Knights. Do you feel the balance of crumbling? I mean, granted, they're both undead, so I guess everyone deserves it. But yeah, those Blood Knights are now done. I say that, and they still barely just crumbled. Crumbling is such a silly mechanic. Anyway. And now it's time. Kemmler's time has come. He's not really fast enough to get away from this. Oh, a giant blow from the Sphinx of Usek comes in. It looks like Cetra might actually get killed by the White King here, though, if he's not careful. White Kings. And it will be basically like the Sphinx versus the White Kings in the late game. It's all a matter of if Kemmler can escape. He gets stuck on one of his own Graveguard. Oh, does not take a hit there. Attack animation actually missed. That's really bad RNG, unfortunately, for the Sphinx there. And that slower attack animation, a little bit tough. Cetra's just barely hanging on with about 500 HP. But yeah, man, this Sphinx of Usek just staying focused on Kemmler. Exactly what he should be doing. Oh, gets a hit there. Absolutely gets a hit there. And Cetra can come around and start to pressure Kemmler as well. He doesn't need to be careful. He doesn't crumble too much more. He lost a little bit of HP there to crumbling. But Kemmler using that Undeath Resurgent. This is completely silly. Rule break? Yeah, I mean, it's more... He's not changing his attack order. He's keeping his attack order on Kemmler. Tank is just running away with Kemmler, right? So he's not actually changing his attack order. Like, he's not issuing any other commands to specifically disengage, right? He's staying on the engagement here. Like, I can see his attack order, right? Like, you can see that this red line is just staying on Kemmler. Cetra, I guess, should not be able to disengage. I don't really know. I think Cetra's going to go down anyway, though. Yeah, White King hitting the side there forces him into crumbling. He's got 61 HP left, so Cetra's time is limited. The Sphinx now is going to have to turn and fight. Does look like the attack order on Kemmler might have got broken there, but yeah, it's pretty much over anyway. The Sphinx, I think, is going to give up its leadership soon. Kemmler could just honestly YOLO in and die. get the Sphinx to stop chasing, but oh, Kemmler! Oh, Kemmler's gonna crumble anyway. Yeah, only got like 200 hit points, less than 200 hit points left. So here comes the Sphinx. This is actually kind of bad for the Sphinx, the fact that it took this engagement right on the edge of the forest. That does mean that, oh, Kemmler's stopped crumbling. That's honestly kind of bad for tank because it gives another target to pursue, but it does look like Kemmler's going to be able to summon up some zombies here, get a little bit of healing. That does push the balance of power pretty significantly as well. And you can see the White Kings this whole time just getting chip damage. Oh, Kemmler gets KO'd. Just full RKO by the Sphinx. And now it's time. Trying to get an attack order in there, and there we go. Can 2 White Kings beat a Necro Sphinx? That's the question. I think they probably can. They have good enough stats, and I mean, the Sphinx of Usek also has pretty good stats, but it has much better stats, in fact. Oh man, a direct hit on the White King there. Let's see. I think the Sphinx might give out its leadership. I honestly think it could probably win this fight. There's a heavy RNG element to it because of the White Kings involved. But yeah, I think the Sphinx is probably just going to go down to leadership here. Yep, leadership goes down below 0 just momentarily. Somehow didn't trigger army losses. But yeah, that's it right there. Nope, somehow. Yeah. Yeah, it's over. This Sphinx is done. It is done. Maybe. This Sphinx is not wanting to give up the fight. His leadership is below 100. Come on, hit army losses. There we go. Army losses finally kicked in right there. Good stuff. Good stuff. Tank able to just barely hold out until the end of the win there. Those White Kings, man, each racked up over 100 kills. They were using that Scab's Wrath. I didn't really highlight it too much, but you guys saw it going off in that situation. That Scab's Wrath did a lot. Likewise, the Doomba, 248 kills on the Doomba, 126 for the Eyes of the Desert, 134 for the Sphinx, 175 for Cetra. That was an absolute horde of zombies and skeletons there, but it was enough. It was just enough. Looked like he was trying to. Yes, that is technically a rule break, but I think Krakenmeister's new, so I'm not going to hold it too hard against him. He was going to lose anyway, so yeah. All right, let's get the last competitor queued up. And it is, of course, Wolf of Sigmar. Let's see here. Oh, okay, nope, never mind. We're all good there. And for the final map, let's go to the place where men are made. Troll Country. While these guys are getting their army picks locked in, I'm going to queue up some more music and go grab something. I'll be right back. Alright, sorry about that, guys. I'm back now. Yeah, it wasn't the biggest rule break in the world, and I mean, if this was like the final of a tournament where money was on the line, I would probably be a little bit more strict about it. But as it is right now, I mean, we're just having fun. Just a friendly King of the Hill. I mean, the tournament rules are mostly just there to provide some structure, right? To prevent super abusive behavior, but that, I would say, is totally fine. No big deal. Yeah, it was just at the very end when you were fighting with just Cetra in the forest, like after Kemmler died, there was a point where you like pulled out of the forest and there wasn't really a target that you were going after. That disengaged right there. Like you technically should have stayed in that blob. Again, not a big deal at all. Totally not a big deal. Just something very minor, but so that you guys know, like for the rules, like I could go back and actually watch the replay. But yeah. You know, actually what would help Empire Halberds would be an armor buff. Give them 75 armor, like Silverin Guards have, and I think they'd be good. I honestly think if you gave them an armor buff, they would be good. That's the truth. Because their main thing is they're pretty expensive for no missile block chance. And just like kind of crappy armor as well. Like their upside is pretty low in that regard. So if they had more armor, they would be a lot more usable. Like 50 armor at least, or even up to like 70 armor. Make them so much better. Yep. Yeah, the halberds unfortunately just can't really have shields, right? So the missile block chance thing is always going to be a little bit of an issue, but giving them more armor would certainly help. Yeah, correct, Velcon. Once you have only single entities left, you can't disengage with them. So I guess Cetra was technically breaking the rules when he disengaged, when it was just the two of them left, but again, not a big deal at all. Totally not a big deal at all. Empire Halberds? Yeah, I have found them to be pretty poor. I mean, in certain levels of play and in certain situations, very few matchups, they can be kind of good. The expert charge defense is nice in some situations, but again, the lack of armor and the lack of missile block is what really does them in. The spearmen with shields too are just they're just so good, so cost effective. Alright, oh, they're waiting on me. Whoops. Alright, let's get this going. This is the final game for today. Big thanks to everyone for joining. Absolute massive thanks to Tamanten once again for his very kind generosity, donating quite a bit to the stream. And yeah, this is it. Troll Country. We've got Dwarfs versus Skaven on a small map. Should be interesting. Let's take a look at the builds. I don't even know. Don't know where these voices come from sometimes. Yes. Here we are. Good old Troll Country. And today, I think, I had, what, a 3-game reign? Legion went 2, so it looks like Tank is going to be the confirmed winner for today. He's gone, what, 4 games? At the helm? At the throne, if you will? And here we are. Let's have a look at some builds for the Skavenses. We've got a Wild Doom Wheel, second Doom Wheel, 2 Rattling Guns and a Jezzail. Got some Eshin Triads, interesting choice. Deathmaster Snitch, Warp Lightning Cannons, 2 of them, including the Zap. Clan Rats up front. As for the Dwarfs, they've gone all in on the Air Force here. Absolutely glorious. Got Brimstone Guns, Steam Guns. Oh no, all Brimstone Guns. What is that, 5 Brimstone Guns? Yeah, 5 Brimstone Guns and a Bomber. That is a heavy Air Force. Got a bunch of infantry here, some Dwarf Warriors, some Miners Blasting Charges, Goblobber, Nor Gremlings to help protect the backline, Grombrundle, and Gotrek to tank out and deal damage. Okay. Yes, exactly, Pacta. It's mostly to prevent late game cycle charging. I don't think you should make Spearmen with shields more expensive. I really don't think that. But I'd just make Halberds better. Give them more armor. You could even reduce their cost by 50, make them 600 and give them 50 armor, and I think that'd be a lot better. Anyway, we can probably fade this music out now that the battle has started. Gyros, whoops, going to be coming over on the left side, or on the right side, I guess, left from the Dwarfs' perspective. They have some targets to shoot at. This is kind of dangerous, though. I mean, there are these rattling guns, right? And the Warp Lightning Cannons also, they want to start shooting those gyros for sure as soon as possible. Just start lighting them up. And I do think the Ikit Zap will actually add a recharge timer to the bombs themselves, right? So... Yep. As it is right now, the Goblobber looks like it's lobbing gobs at the Zap. The, oh man, the Teeth Breaker is getting absolutely lit up. These Rattling Guns really need to be returning fire. Yep, this is what's up. Rattling Guns can do a ton of damage to gyros. They're very good anti-air units, but it's got to get them online. I would also, again, with these Warp Lightning Cannons, like, going after the Grudge Thrower might seem like a good idea, but in reality, you really want to be using those Warp Lightning Cannons to go after these gyros. The gyros are very squishy in terms of their HP. Take a ton of damage from that heavy HP, rather. They'll take a ton of damage from the AP of the bombs here. Or the guns, rather. The zappers. Warp Lightning Cannons. Other Rattling Guns going to go ahead and open up over on this side. They get these Brimstone Guns pretty well caught out. If the Teeth Breakers come back from route and just start to mow them down, that's great. But the rest of the Skaven army is coming forward at this point now. Honestly, he could probably hang back and just try and deal with these gyros. Yep, like, see, this one absolutely got shredded there. Teeth Breakers now back from route can start helping out. Maybe it's a good idea to just play forward from the artillery, though. I mean, it will take the Dwarfs 15 years to get back and get at that artillery. So not the worst decision in the world, necessarily, to just come forward. And while the gyros are busy not shooting, you know, the Doom Wheels, use the Doom Wheels in combat. Makes sense? Here comes Doom Wheels. Deathmaster Snitch also getting in the front line using his anti-infantry AP. Doesn't actually have anti-infantry, that's right. Just using his AP and that Weeping Blade there to start debuffing the armor very significantly. You can see the Weeping Blade also on those Longbeards from the Triads there. So some nice armor sundering action, and actually that Goblobber has just about been finished off by the Warp Lightning Cannons and so on here, but the Gyrocopter force has not been properly counter-skirmished. We do have some returning Rattling Guns there. The Jezzails have been able to continuously pick away. I almost wonder the Jezzails probably should have been going after the Skyhammer, and in fact, just as kind of a note about targeting priority here for the Skaven, with the Warp Lightning Cannons and the Jezzail, I would have been focusing that that gyro bomber from the start, the Skyhammer, particularly because it's so expensive, if you can get rid of it, very squishy, you can get rid of it in a big hurry with those missiles. As it is, the Doom Wheels having a hard time. Yeah, Grombrindle and Gotrek just absolutely wrecked one of the Doom Wheels, but this is potentially bad. Grombrindle does magic damage. Snitch relies very heavily on his physical resistance to not get horribly killed, and Grombrindle will probably destroy him if he doesn't. I mean, it is a little bit RNG dependent, but Snitch looks like he's actually going to take this fight. He does have some supporting clan rats here, so not a terrible idea for him to take this fight, but he is not feeling great in terms of his leadership there. A little bit of a jump attack roll takes him right into the middle of the Norgrimlings Ironbreakers. Very unfortunate. Doesn't look like he has the Whirlwind ability online. That being said, balance power still surprisingly close, as there are a lot of Skaven units still fighting. These Doom Wheels coming in for some rear charges. Not a whole lot left for the Dwarfs besides just some tattered infantry. This leadership core, though, is going to be very hard for the Skaven to crack, even with Snitch. Gotrek and Grombrindle. If he had a Skaven Assassin to pair with Snitch, it would be a lot easier. 2-on-2 is much easier, and that assassination debuff in particular can be quite strong. But here comes the bombing run. Oh man, the Skyhammer dropping its triple payload. Oh, not going to drop it here. Decides to peel off. Warp Lightning Cannon starting to open up, though. And it does look like the gyros have eventually been dealt with by the Jezzails and the other kind of supporting tools here. So eventually the Dwarfs will have to go and take out those Warp Lightning Cannons unless they can hit army losses first, which is absolutely possible. Skyhammer using up the last of its bombs there on those Triads. The Triads were able to clean up. Looks like there's still quite a few Dwarf Warriors and Miners left. Meanwhile, over here, these Norgrimlings Ironbreakers, again, able to support Grombrindle and Gotrek as they get in and just wipe the floor with Snitch. Absolutely stomp him to the ground. And that will quickly lead to army losses. Dwarfs might have to push forward. Looks like they are going to be able to remount the Grudge Thrower here. The Goblobber still does have a couple models online. Oh man, Grombrindle got blasted right there, knocked off his feet. Triads are coming through, getting on the Goblobber crew. Skaven have a very slim chance, but yeah, it looks like because of the ammo running out on these Warp Lightning Cannons, I really don't think it'll be enough. Yeah, honestly, if he had just kind of chilled back, I think, and played off of his guns to countershoot the gyros, he could have won here, I think. Definitely had the tools he needed to. Just Gotrek and Grombrindle, too much at the end of the day there, so very well played to tank. He is going to be the official king for today. Big thanks to Wolf of Sigmar and to all the other participants, of course. A big thanks to all of you for joining. That's it for today. Thanks. So yeah, huge thanks to all of you guys once again. We'll throw up a Dance and WAAAGH here just to see us out. Put on a little music. And once again, huge thanks. Absolutely massive. You guys are the reason I do this, right? So catch y'all later. Bye-bye now.